Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Guitar Souls. No idea what number episode this is because that would involve planning, and we had that option to plan, didn't we, Mike? But
fuck it.
I was just like, I don't care. It's
the first one of 2019, so
exactly. Episode
numbers
1.
don't matter.
It's new year, new us.
Hope you all had a good New Year and Christmas and all that kind of stuff. Obviously saw it just before Christmas, and Levi was very kind and gifted me that beautiful Rev G3.
You played it?
I've played it a few times, not only in the house but in the studio, and
Very
I'm
nice.
also in the process of buying a couple of mics to record it in the house and maybe do a couple of demos, hopefully.
Yep.
So, yeah, good fun.
Awesome. Yeah, we're still big fans of Rev. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, big shout out to our friends over at Rev. Thank you for the support, guys. Please do head on over to, if you're not going to buy the pedal, I mean, you're an idiot if you don't go and buy the pedal. But
I want a G4 now.
yeah, you're a double idiot if you don't go and buy an amp. But to be fair, you could just buy a t-shirt, support a good company. We like them. That means you should like them. So, yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of buying t-shirts, we've got some at Teespring, do we not?
Oh, look at that. That's a professional segue. Neither of us are wearing one today. So.
Bam! No, you don't wear your own merch. Well, I do, actually.
Yeah.
Quite sadly.
Links below. Please do grab a Guitar Souls t-shirt on Teespring because, yeah, we'll do a giveaway. I still do plan to do that, but unfortunately, I think only 4 people bothered. So
I suppose that's 4 people getting t-shirts, probably.
yeah, because you just feel bad giving them to 2 of them, wouldn't you?
Yeah. But we chose 2, and then we chose another 2. So,
yeah.
Anyway.
It'll happen. We'll sort something. Anyway.
But so, quite a busy news end of the year, start of the year, to be honest.
How do you mean?
Well, just the amount of controversy, which obviously you've done a couple of videos on before already,
Yeah, so we plan to talk about Arch Enemy and Heart Machine.
That's it.
That Arch Enemy videos that I did, mate, the traffic that rocketed up on my YouTube channel.
Deserved.
Absolutely obscene. I'll bring up the stats so you can see what my watch time.
My question is, has anyone else done the right thing and stood up and went, no, wait a minute, you guys are being fucking dicks here, like you did?
Yeah, a fair few channels did.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Make videos talking about it, which is good. That's just
nice.
Like
for the context of those who are listening, obviously no one can be watching what we're doing at the moment. Levi's just showing me his YouTube analytics, and wow, nice big spike.
I guess I can because it doesn't have money on it, so
doesn't matter.
I can do that and just say that was the last day of the Arch Enemy thing. Like, I've had a couple of big spikes before. This was for my cult video, I believe. I assume. I could be wrong on that, actually. That's yeah. Anyway, point is, to have a naturally occurring spike like that is a rarity. That is a unicorn. That's what's that for? That's for years of time.
That's a full year. Yeah, that's a full year.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously good for the channel, and it brought in a lot more people watching. But I did the video because I wanted to talk about it with you, of course, but didn't know how long that was going to take. Also, I don't tend to get quite as animated on a Guitar Souls episode.
No, when it comes to rage time, that's because you've analysed it and went, okay, I know exactly where I stand. Whereas I think when we're doing these, it's how do you feel? That's how I feel, and it's more a conversation rather than you just being like, nope, this is black and white. You're wrong. You're right. You can fuck off. You should be doing this. So,
for a quick rundown for anyone that's not watched that video or seen what happened with Arch Enemy, a photographer in the Netherlands was at a festival which he had a photo pass for. He took some photos of Arch Enemy, one of which was a great photo, and he shared it on his social media platforms.
Yep.
Arch Enemy reshared the photo, fans reshared the photo, none of which he had an issue with. But then one of Arch Enemy's sponsors, a clothing company, also shared the photo. Now, at that point, he deemed that to be commercial use because it was being used in order to kind of further a business.
Mm-hmm.
Can you turn that boiler off?
Yes.
Sorry. He deemed that as being commercial usage, and decided that he wasn't comfortable with the company, having that facility, being able to do that without compensation, because as a photographer, that's literally how he makes his money, by licensing photos to people. So he contacted the company and said, look, basically you've used my photo without rights to do so. Usually I would charge a fee of €500 for a breach of a license type thing, or for use without a license. But in this case, what I would prefer to do is if you donate €100 to this cancer charity, I will accept that as a license, and you can use it in promotional stuff. So kind of a win-win. And from the business's perspective, that's a great offer.
Now, that would have been fantastic for a small business
Yeah.
to have that promo for literally for free, and it'd be shown to be supporting a good cause.
Yep. And then the business owner would have been able to go out of their way to then use the photo and push it more aggressively in an actual advertising campaign. Could have been really good. Anyway, unfortunately, the business in question wasn't quite sure whether or not it was a scam, what the legality of the situation was. So rather than looking into that, she asked Alyssa from Arch Enemy, the current singer, who in turn put it on to their business manager, Angela Gossow, the old singer. And she jumped in full force.
Yep.
Not quite understanding the law regarding photography and copyrights of photos and stuff like that. And I feel that, you know, in dealing with the hundreds, if not thousands of people that I've dealt with in the comments of that video, most people tend to side with the photographer, but there are definitely some people that side with Arch Enemy on this.
It's all right. They're allowed to be wrong.
So I made 2 videos. One where I'm sure actually we've talked about this in the past, photography and gigs. Like, I don't actually agree with the way copyright law and photography works. I think that name and likeness laws should protect the person in a photo a lot more, because the argument I've always made is, if I go out and take a photo of a flower, it's worthless. If I go out and take a picture of Justin Bieber, that photo is worth more than the picture of the flower. Why? Because my photo was better, or because the person in the photo has brought value to the photo?
Okay, yep.
So I'm not saying that Justin Bieber should own the photo, but he should have, like, he's the one that's brought value to that photo. The photo wouldn't exist without a photographer, so I'm not saying that the artist should, so the subject should own the photo. But the point I made in the video is, just because you disagree with the way copyright law works regarding images doesn't change the fact that the law is the way the law is. And the other detail that I didn't really mention when I was talking about this story is the photographer in question is an attorney. Like that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, okay. So that's kind of what rubbed Angela up the wrong way. He introduced himself as a photographer and an attorney. Now, that was deemed as being a threat, whereas in reality, I guess it's more of it's a flex. It's a, you know, just so you know, I do know what I'm talking about thing, rather than just, I'm a photographer trying my luck. At least that's how I read it.
Levi with the lingo. Flex.
Yeah.
Flexing.
Yeah. So it's definitely an interesting one, but it can't be argued that he absolutely was in the right. Whether or not you feel he should have been, you know, if you take issue with the way the situation panned out, what you need to do is you need to campaign to have laws changed. But as it currently stands, he was in the right. People have criticised me for criticising Arch Enemy, saying they should be allowed to ban him from their concerts. Yep, I agree.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, they should be allowed to ban him from their... I don't take issue with them banning him from their concerts. The only issue I've taken with this situation is why they decided to ban him from the concert. Ban someone from the concert for doing something bad, not for trying to exercise their own copyright rights.
Yep, but not even trying to exercise their own copyright rights in a forceful or out-of-order manner. Literally asking someone to donate €100 to a cancer charity in lieu of paying him for a licence to just go, look, we'll just call it water under the bridge. It's a good thing you're doing if you do this, and that's it. We'll leave it at that.
So how do you feel about photography laws and things like that? How do you feel when you're out with Party Cannon and there's photographers taking photos of you?
I would think that my opinion probably doesn't really matter that much, for the reason being, no one's going to make money selling pictures of me. No one. There is no commercial use for a picture of my face.
Lies. There's a picture of you playing guitar, not wearing any clothes.
Excuse me, I am wearing a Borat mankini.
You keep talking, I'm going to bring that photo up.
Levi's going to punish you all.
I love it. It's one of my favourite photos of all time.
We played a Halloween gig, so we decided to wear mankinis. Well, 3 or 5 of us. The other guitarist, Craig, and the vocalist, Stoney, decided not to, which I can understand for personal and career reasons, whereas I don't really care. Chris doesn't really care, and he also goes to the gym, so he's pretty hot, and Martin is a fucking tank. So there's really just two hot guys
behind a drum kit. So.
Yeah, two hot guys who are fairly well equipped, and then there's this. I can't even say me. There's this.
I absolutely love this photo. The look on your face is absolutely perfect, and this poor gentleman that you're staring down. It looks.
He got in my face. Wait a minute.
Well, that's exactly it. If you couldn't see the fact that you weren't clothed in this photo, this tells a story of two men that have squared up against each other, and you've just pulled an absolutely goofy face to try and calm the situation a little bit. He still looks absolutely raging. Then you factor in the fact that you're not wearing any clothes. So, to me, that picture has great value.
I look like a male gigolo Undertaker.
I do enjoy that.
So, yeah. That's probably worth minus equity. That's the kind of thing that would take money out your bank.
Yeah,
as a photographer. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I think if it was the case that I don't disagree that the person or subject being photographed shouldn't be the only value of the photo, but they should have some responsibility to whatever the value of it is and whatever compensation is deserved in that respect. But I've never had to deal with that kind of thing personally. I've never been in that situation where I've had to worry about someone's using a photo of me that I don't like or anything like that. So rather than talking anecdotally, if we're talking about the arch enemy situation, I think genuinely that arch enemy were in the wrong 100%, because it wasn't that the photographer, forgive me, I don't know his name.
It's Juan Salmeron.
Well, it wasn't that Juan was being out of order. He wasn't being forceful. His messages are very, very well written and very neutral. Even to the point of almost being relaxed about it. Like, I mean, this is the law, but really it doesn't matter that much. Tell you what, do this and we'll call it a day. It is all the instigation, which might have came from just a misunderstanding of language and just taking it the wrong way on arch enemy's side. That's the only opinion I can really give forward on that.
But unfortunately,
here we go.
Angela has a track record of doing this to other people, which has come to light since. Other photographers have come forward saying that similar things have happened to them. Angela's used photos that they've taken on her website without permission, and when they have asked to have the photos removed because you haven't asked for permission to use these photos, she said, cool, they've been taken down, also you're banned from all of our shows. The photography thing has come up in the past because I remember Taylor Swift. Pretty sure Taylor Swift. Yeah, let's go Taylor Swift.
Yeah, you could be right.
Yeah, was making photographers on her gig sign releases on the photos before that they were allowed in the pit to
this
say
was like
that,
episode 5 or 6. I think we spoke about it really briefly. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, the artist would also have the right to copyright, and actually, like, I'm okay with that, and I'm sure if I went back and listened to that episode, that was my stance then. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I'm sure if there's a reasonable middle ground, then why would it not be in everyone's interest? But the problem is that people get greedy and other people don't understand balance.
Yeah.
And because then the law is, as you say, as it is with the trademark and copyright way it is at the moment, you can't just decide, wow, I don't like the way this is. You have to have the laws balanced if that's what you don't like.
Yeah. So really this situation to me is not necessarily about the photography, because unfortunately Marta, the woman that owned Thunderball Clothing, her business has folded over this situation.
Yeah.
Which is dreadful.
Yeah, shit. It really is unfair on her. But that's a consequence, unfortunately, of her actions. Not that I think she deserves her business to fold, but that's not a consequence of her actions actually thinking that way. She just contacted Alyssa for advice.
Yes.
Sorry, I'll take that back. That sounded way more harsh than it should have been.
Well, I said in my video that, when somebody asks for advice from somebody else and they receive bad advice, I struggle to blame the person that asked for advice. How can they really be held accountable for receiving bad advice? If they knew any better, they wouldn't have asked for advice in the first place.
Did Alyssa even reply? Was it not Angela that basically took over the reins as soon as she asked?
No, so Alyssa dealt with the guy via Instagram message and was pretty shitty with him.
Okay.
This is the beauty of the situation. Like, the reason this blew up is because Arch Enemy consistently lied and tried to misrepresent what had happened. Whereas Jay Salmeron, when he posted the article to the website that it was on, Pixablay or something, I forget the site it was on, but Pixel Junk, I don't know, something to do with pixels, I'm sure. When he posted it, he was completely transparent about everything, screenshots of every conversation, every email, and then Alyssa and Angela,
as you expect a lawyer and attorney to be,
were trying to insinuate that there were threats. He was threatening us.
Did Angela's last tweet about it not have something to do with Donald Trump, and then it was edited and she was calling people sheep and all
Bingo.
sorts?
Yeah, and this also doesn't help, does it?
Yeah.
Don't call half of your fan base sheep, and that's what happens when you belittle the President of the United States. Like him or hate him, I'm not a fan, but a decent portion of the population did indeed vote for him. Mm-hmm. So if you decide to call people like that idiots, you are going to piss off probably not half of your fan base, but a portion of your fan base.
And you're going to alienate people who maybe don't want to bring politics into it. Certainly not when it's not anything to do with politics.
Yeah. And don't ever call your fans sheep.
No.
The thing that really bugged me was the lying and implying
that
you see, like, oh, this was said and you don't know the full story. Cool, tell us the full story. Show us the full story. Provide some fucking evidence.
She's not a good spin doctor. She is not.
Yeah,
she would not be Malcolm Tucker.
She's ruined it. She ruined the entire situation. That's really what riled me up. I feel terrible that the clothing business went out of business, and I hope that gets rectified. I think it's absolutely a shame that people were stupid enough to send abuse to her. I think it's a shame that Angela tried to imply that abuse only went one way. You know, Jay Samron will have received more than his fair share of abuse. I made a video about it, and I got a shit ton of abuse from people. Like, that's just the internet. If you can't deal with it, get off the fucking internet. Abuse just comes. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
If you're stupid enough to go after the clothing company, then you need to think more critically. The issue here wasn't the clothing company. Yep. The issue was hardly even Alyssa. The issue was really Angela. So, and that's a shame, because she was a big influence on me growing up. So I think I can segue there quite effectively, because I believe in the front of this, Arch Enemy are in this.
As you see, as you've maybe seen on Levi's posts, he managed to acquire a lot of older Total Guitar magazines from back like 2000, 2005 era, in between that. And we've decided, and Levi's been through most of them, to have a look through and see what's most interesting to look through and see what's fun about it. And
Arch Enemy right there.
There we go, perfect. I mean, they have been in the light for a good, that would show then for what, 15 years? They haven't really left relevance.
Yeah, well, these are the sort of monitor interviews right at the start of the magazine. They're not big features. This is, you know, up and coming band type things.
Okay, but even then, it goes to show their career still being seen by young and naive, maybe not naive, impressionable guitarists would build an alliance towards them. I'm not going to lie, I'm much the same as yourself. I loved Arch Enemy when I grew up. I dyed my hair red to look like Michael Amott, and I looked like a fucking idiot. Yes, when I had long hair, I looked like a fucking idiot. I loved Arch Enemy. It got me into Carcass, which then got me into much heavier music, because Michael Amott was in Carcass.
Yep.
Blah blah blah. Anyway, it's frightening to think they've been in the line or in the light for 15, 16 years, and none of this has really come out until now. And the amount of people who are then backing them, regardless.
Yeah, the amount of people that have given me abuse on my videos saying, you know, words to the effect of, why are you even bothering to talk about this? Who even cares? Or this should just be left between the parties involved.
Well, no. A business folded because someone made a really bad decision on how to reply to what was a very fair offer within the law.
Yeah.
And that was all consequentially because the person who dealt with the messages, Angela, didn't handle it well. That's the gist of it. She is, in part, responsible for what happened with Thunderball clothing, in my opinion, just before we get sued. But I don't see how you can see it any other way. Even if you believe that she has some stake.
I love the band.
But that doesn't change it, you know what I mean?
It clouds idiots' minds.
True. Listen, I'm not going to say that I haven't had that happen to me. There's probably plenty of times where I've sided with a band just naively thinking more of an emotional way rather than a rational way.
Yep.
But in this scenario, someone's lost their business.
Yeah.
You know, someone has literally lost what I would imagine is their main income. And by the looks of things, and fair play to her, she's obviously a very good costume designer.
Yeah, oh yeah,
the stuff was incredible.
She made great clothes. I looked at her Etsy store while it was still there, and there were some great jackets on there that I even thought, wow, I'd probably have her make Hayley a jacket. So if she goes back into business at any point, you know, that's not a promise that I'll be making an order, but I'd absolutely consider it. Like, great looking work.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I totally went sideways there. So my point was that Levi now has about 5 years worth of Total Guitar magazines. For those of you who have never read Total Guitar or heard of it, essentially it's like a magazine that gives you bits of everything about guitar. There's transcriptions, there's news stories, there is gear reviews, there is everything and anything, and you go from bands for the 50s to the 60s to the 70s, all the way up to modern. You've got the shredder guys, you've got jazz, you've got blues. Pretty much an eclectic magazine for anyone who's just interested in guitar. Kind of what this podcast is, the same kind of demographic target, really. Anyone who has an interest in music and a bit of sense of humour about it, and you probably enjoyed it. So I'd imagine the majority of our listeners from the UK have read or maybe even still read Total Guitar.
Hopefully not anymore. It's not as good as it once was. But
are you looking at that with rose-tinted glasses, though?
But well, maybe. But we will find that out as we go through all of these. So I'll give you a little bit more information. I saw these magazines in a buy and sell group on Facebook for Musicians Scotland or Buy and Sell Scotland or whatever it happens to be. Whatever one it is, yeah. The guy didn't want any money for these magazines. And I saw the picture, and it seemed to start from about the first issue I ever bought and went up until the point where I stopped buying the magazine. So it screamed to me like, you have to have these.
Nostalgia.
Yeah, unfortunately he was like a 2-hour drive away. But I immediately sent him a message and was like, look, I know you've had a couple of people say that they're interested, but if you want them gone, I'll literally get in my car right now and drive to you and get them. And he messaged me back and was like, oh, I'm really sorry, mate. Someone said that they're going to get them, so I'm holding them for her until tomorrow. So shit out of luck. And then like almost 2 weeks later, he sent me a message saying, yeah, she was supposed to come pick them up a couple of days ago. She's still not come to get them. So if you want them, I don't want any money, but why don't we say like a donation to, and there was some music related Glasgow music charity thing. Mm-hmm. So I was like, yeah, no, I'm absolutely fine with that. I'll make a donation to that charity.
That's cool.
I'll come and get these magazines. So I have read through, flicked through all of them. And I've put little post-it notes at the top. This is the first issue I ever bought in May 2003.
Do you remember that back that far of remembering buying it?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I have...
I suppose you were 65 at that point, you old man.
Strong associations with anything I read or listen to. I can always usually remember what happened at the time.
That's cool.
Yeah. Which I was going to say can come in handy, but no, I don't think it can. Same with transcriptions, to be honest. Like I'll look at a transcription and I'll go, I remember I was watching a particular episode of the particular TV series on that screen when this was happening. Yeah. Odd
you know
how
what?
that happens.
No one knew that's probably true.
Yeah.
Aye.
So, when we look at this, we've got Brad Nelson on the cover with a broken Les Paul. Not a genuine Les Paul, I should point out.
No, of course not.
You can see that closer in the issue, but people did write in and complain.
Let's be honest, the reason that you know it's not a real Les Paul is the headstock's not hanging off.
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't have got that far if it was a real Les Paul. It would have been
broken. It disintegrated as you swung it towards the gun. It's just been gone.
You know what I will say though, and this proves my point actually, the sheer amount of influence that these magazines would have had on a younger me and the bands that should be taken seriously is unbelievable, and it is absolutely shocking how often Slash and Guns N' Roses were featured in these. In fact, I've picked 3 out and you'll see Slashes on the cover of all of them.
Yep, and that looks like it was pretty much the same gig, maybe a shot apart each.
Yeah.
Yep, and then there's the full... Yep, you're right. You're absolutely right.
They featured so many Slash covers and Guns N' Roses transcriptions. This was around the period when Velvet Revolver came out, so there were loads of Velvet Revolver transcriptions. Truly shocking. This was Paradise City. The issue after this, I think, had Sweet Child of Mine in it. So, like, it was literally consecutive months. They were just hammering the Guns N' Roses. I
mean, that's what I was talking about when sorry to go back, but when I'm saying, like, people are, like, impressionable people reading the magazine might have got more of an emotional reaction and emotional link to bands that might cloud their judgment. Because if you think about it, if you can remember that Guns N' Roses, Slash specifically, was on pretty much every fucking cover you can imagine it, and every issue, then you might find that there's people who would defend Guns N' Roses and Slash absolutely to the hilt.
Yep.
Because of that. Anyway, sorry.
I didn't buy these for Slash. I was interested in like modern music, and actually I didn't like Guns N' Roses for a long time. Maybe partly to do with the magazines like this that would list them as the classic track of the month. You know, this is old man's music. I'm not interested in the old man's music.
Yeah, I understand that. To be honest, I was more like, I want to listen to Megadeth and Slayer and Metallica. I want to learn how to shred. This guy's just playing fucking bluesy shit.
Yeah. But same with stuff like that. Like, there's issues in here where you'll find, we'll get to Hangar 18, where that was one of the tracks they taught, and that was where I learned it from. So I can literally, down to the month, tell you when I learned Hangar 18.
Tell us then.
It's right there. I mean, when I find it,
yeah. I thought you were
we'll have a record of it down to the
I
month.
thought you were going to tell me like to the dot the day you learned. I'm like, that's pretty silly.
So looking at the learn to play, these are what transcriptions they featured in this particular month.
Before we go any further, how did you rate the transcriptions in these magazines?
Well, at the time, highly.
No, I'm not saying at the time.
I've not really compared them now.
Okay,
I've not checked them for accuracy now.
Right, okay. Because I can imagine you just being like, nope, minus, C minus.
Well,
Let's try harder.
I'll tell you what really bugged me, actually. So what
I've got off in one.
No, what you'll notice, right, is space in a magazine comes at a premium. You have a page count. There's a certain amount of space that you can use. And for some reason, in their classic tracks, they always had the vocal. So you've got guitar tab, guitar notation, but then also the vocal part. And having that in a guitar magazine just seems like such a bizarre choice to me, because it eats up so much space over the course of a transcription.
You think they found that a lot of guitarists were finding it easier to follow with the vocal track, or potentially that they had quite a large audience of frontmen who played guitar and sung at the same time?
I mean, if that were the case, you're talking about guitar players buying a magazine with tab. They probably couldn't read the notation for the voice.
True.
And it's only the classic track, I'll point out. You've got Chili Peppers Can't Stop, and they don't have the vocal for that. So
okay. That's a weird one, isn't it?
I thought that was a really odd choice.
Unless it's just to actually give more, like to use more space, which would be even weirder.
Yeah. I'll also point out this magazine was £4.99, so it's gone up in price. Transcriptions. So we got Brad Delson on the cover, so there's Linkin Park, and they have 5 of their best riffs tabbed inside. Red Hot Chili Peppers Can't Stop. I learnt that from this magazine.
I learned it for Kieran's video.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't actually.
That's a funny video. The Cars, My Best Friend's Girl.
I don't know that song.
Good Charlotte, Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous.
I wish I didn't know that band.
Transporting Me Back. Hell is for Heroes, You Drove Me to It.
Hells for Heroes were pretty good.
I remember the band, but I don't remember any of their songs.
Try to remember the name of the song. There was one song they had that was really good. I Can Climb Mountains? Sure.
Just actually looking through some of these magazines, I kept seeing band names that I hadn't heard in 15 years.
Yeah.
And instantly going, oh, I remember that band, but I can't remember any of their music. An example would be the band Kinesis. Do you remember the band Kinesis?
No.
Yeah, no, me neither. But when I saw them, I was like, I remember that band. Exactly.
There's quite a lot of bands like that in these magazines that we'll get a good nostalgia run when we go through them.
AC/DC, What You Do For Your Money, Honey, The Buzzcocks, Ever Fallen In Love, and you got riffs from Cream, R.E.M., Train, and The Doves. So yeah, let's take a look. Woo! I'm really getting over flu here. Also, Zakk Wylde was featured in a lot of these, and that was.
I was going to say he was like the number 2 to Slash, wasn't he?
That was a big influence on a younger me.
You think Gibson maybe put a bit of money into Total Guitar?
Someone was certainly putting a lot of money into Total Guitar. Yeah, you see actually a lot of strange adverts time and time again, and you're like, okay, partnership here. JJ, the guitar company.
Yeah, JJ Guitars had hundreds. I remember them, and I think for a wee while Patrick Eggle as well.
Yep. The other thing I found interesting about these is, unlike Guitar Techniques magazine, which was very open about who taught every column in the magazine, which was a big influence on a younger me, because from a very young age, I started teaching when I was 14. I had a couple of teachers at my school were like, you're pretty good at the guitar, would you teach my son? Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, sure. And they were like, don't worry, I'll pay you. And I was like, cool, you can make money doing this? Awesome. Let's do it. Yeah. So reading Guitar Techniques magazine and seeing all of the authors and their names, and that gave me something to aspire to. Mm-hmm. Total Guitar not so good at that.
No, this was more like I don't want to say a tabloid magazine, I don't want to be derogatory, but it was more like a leisure magazine than a real putting things into theory, and you want to learn a lot.
It has names like Steve Ellsworth, who of course I know he was in Guitar Techniques as well. Pete Callard was great in Guitar Techniques magazine. Simon Young, not familiar with, and Richard Barrett, yep, familiar with Richard's work. Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that with any derogatory tone towards it, or looking down my nose at Total Guitar. I just mean, I think that was more of an entertainment magazine than you really want to get into the guts of it.
Yeah. But
there was still plenty of content in it. I do remember learning quite a few things. I think the one thing I remember learning the most was the track that Mark Tremonti wrote, and it was called A Havo Rabo Taco Salad.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do remember that, yeah.
See, there you go. And I remember trying to learn that and being like, man, this guy picks far too fast.
That actually makes me really happy because remember we were talking about Tom Morello and his masterclass.
Yes.
And I made reference to his technique masterclass that was in Total Guitar magazine.
Yes.
I've got it.
Yes. Fucking yes.
So I thought it would be worth mentioning, you know, like the albums of the month that were there at the time. You know, Godsmack's Faceless album.
I was listening to that the other day.
Really?
Not through choice.
Their essential listening this month was the White Stripes Elephant, which I can't really criticise it. Like, sure, people like that album. Not for me.
3 out of 5 for Opeth Damnation.
I know, shocking.
What the fuck?
Linkin
Wait a
Park's
minute.
Meteora.
3 Doors Down get 4 out of 5.
I know, questionable.
Come on.
Definitely questionable. But Linkin Park's Meteora, yeah, fair enough.
Wait, even better. Godsmack got 5 out of 5.
Yep.
That speaks for itself, I suppose.
Definitely questionable.
Yeah, very questionable.
So yeah, power through. I don't really care about the Linkin Park thing.
No.
The thing that I think is going to be a lot of fun with these, we've got Zach Wilde in Pet Sounds, who talks about influential tracks and stuff like that. Saw a Darren Malakian thing. Yeah, the thing that I thought would be really fun about talking about these magazines is seeing how well certain things have aged. So here we have an article, 50 Reasons Why Now is a Great Time to Play Guitar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to reel these off. Let's see what you think. In 2003, were these great reasons
Can
to play
we talk
guitar?
about the gear that's on the front page that's meant to be advertising it? You've got a picture of Wes Borland with... I don't even know what kind of guitar that is. I'm assuming it's some sort of Ibanez.
No, that's not Ibanez.
You sure? It looks like the...
It looks like an S series, but...
That's what I was thinking. The same shape as Mike Mushock's old signature baritone with a kind of just plain mahogany top. Anyway, they've got a Boss ME50. Beautiful bit of kit. Always really, really sounded so analog. A Mode 4 head and cab. Again, fantastic. Some sweaty young man with an Explorer. Excellent. A double cut Les Paul Jr. That right?
Yep.
Horrendous. Anyway, let's move on. So you can tell me what the top 50 reasons for playing guitar in 2003 were.
Number 1, 2003 is the year of the blues.
Right. I see they've got a lot of blues on that cover with Linkin Park and Slash. Well, Slash nearly, but...
Number 2, Metallica. New album, new bassist, new reading matter.
That's enough of that.
It kind of contradicts itself because point number 4 is the return of the guitar solo. But Metallica's album in that year destroyed the guitar solo, got rid of them.
It destroyed music in general.
Yeah.
The only thing that was good about that is the snare sounds like a death metal snare, nearly.
Number 3, Guns N' Roses original lineup minus Axl back together.
How many years do we need to speculate an actual reunion? How many years?
Because Pop Idol exists. There's a picture of Gareth Gates.
How's that a good reason to play guitar?
So it says String Up or The Nation Gets It, Busted, Fame Academy, Pop Idol, Gareth Gates, Girls Aloud, Will what's his name. Just when you think it can't get any worse, they keep on coming. Only you and your guitar can stop them.
We really showed them. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Rage Against the Machine got number 1 for 1 year.
Yeah.
And then put a gig on, and it's pretty much been Simon Cowell raking it in every single year since then.
Yeah.
Oh, but we showed them.
Girls are doing it. I mean, girls were always,
Nancy, cover your ears.
always doing it. Girls were always doing it. Yeah.
There is space in music for everyone. It is completely biasless.
Loads of cool looking guitars, and the tagline they went with under that is the G string gets a stylish makeover.
Nice.
Yeah. Number 8, Line 6's Variax.
Well, the times they are a changing.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure which issue it is, but I make a feature of their reviews where they love technology in this magazine.
Oh, they do. I remember them talking about the Atomic FRFR cabs, if you remember them, the valve-driven cabs for the pods.
But they were cool.
They were, no, that's my point. Like they did have some things they got like nail on the head, but quite a lot of the tech they reviewed was shit.
Like the Digitech RP300A, which they gave 5 stars to.
When I first worked in Magnum, there was one of them, and Bill was like, "You need to learn how to use that so you can demo it for people." And I was like, "This is the worst thing I've ever played on. Everything sounds really, really digital. Like
I'll demonstrate how to throw it in the fucking bin."
it sounds like someone's put a bit crusher over the top of it, but only turned it down slightly so you can hear that it's digital, but you can also hear what it's trying to do.
Yep. You can sound like all of your guitar heroes on the cheap. Guitars are cheap. The new Offspring album.
That's a good reason to play guitar.
So 2003 would have been, but 2003 would have been Splinter, which had Hit That on it.
That wasn't very good.
No. Limp Bizkit's first album without Wes Borland.
That's definitely not a good reason.
Yeah, why would you celebrate that? They brought Mike Smith in on guitar, if I remember, from the band Snot. And I remember that because Total Guitar Magazine featured Behind Blue Eyes in one of their issues.
I mean, Wes Borland was probably the main reason I liked Limp Bizkit, like, genuinely, because he was quite an innovator. See, you think about it, right? I think he really did inspire a lot of modern metal tones.
Yeah.
Like, a lot.
Yep, definitely an influential player. There was definitely beef going on between him and Fred Durst at this point, where Fred was trying to claim in magazines that he wrote all of the guitar parts. Yeah, I know, shocking.
That's like watching the Shred Dust videos.
Yeah.
I've seen them in a few years.
More music schools and guitar courses. The year of the British band. There are more guitar bands on the radio. Guitar playing is cool. I'm just like ripping through these at silly speeds.
You can tell this was marketed to children.
Yeah, because of that, their internet. Guitar chords. Good for songwriting ideas. New Korn album. The White Stripes new album. The Windmill. We invented that in 2003. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Guitar playing attracts members of the opposite sex. Marilyn Manson.
No, wait a minute. Let's go back. It says playing guitar attracts members of the opposite sex. Fact. I mean, I distinctly remember guitar being the same idea as having a motorbike. I was excited that it might have some cool allure, but really what happens is sweaty men want to talk to you about them.
Yes. I remember picking up the guitar to get girls, and it works up to a point, and then it works up to the point where you really get into guitar. And at that point,
when you don't want to play Oasis at parties,
you don't see the opposite sex, you don't see the same sex, you don't see anything. All you see is your practice room.
Yeah.
So, Marilyn Manson's new album, because DJs are twats. Nice one.
That's a good name. That's great.
Guitar Heavyweights being reissued, talking about like the Ozzy Osbourne Essentials.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Guitar magazines for everyone. Here's an interesting one: the solo for Tenacious D's Wonderboy. Could you imagine the reason you pick up the guitar being Kyle Gass? Yeah.
Probably the one that played it.
New Deftones album.
Okay.
Great festival lineups. Gay bar. Electric Six.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They had so many better songs than that too. Naked Pictures of Your Mother, for example.
Yep. I have that album.
You've got pictures of my mum naked. Levi. Not again.
It's hardly an exclusive club.
That's true.
Old metal to make a comeback. It's okay to rock again. None of these are reasons to pick up a guitar.
No, they're not. Certainly not
album.
2003 either.
Marshall goes one louder and then some with the Mode 4. No. Just nothing grabs me.
Scarpunk is back.
Boss's tasty new multi-effects unit. No, thank you.
No. So that was, although we skimmed most of them, 50 terrible reasons not related to playing guitar, why you should play guitar, not related to 2003, to play guitar in 2003.
Another article that I tagged in here that I thought was funny was the 20 greatest guitar tuition videos ever.
They better all be shrapnel, and it better say, like, NB, you will not learn any tab from these, just watch people play ridiculous licks.
Also, if these are the 20 greatest guitar tuition videos ever, why are they reviewed? Why has this one only got 2 out of 5? Why has the Alan Holdsworth one only got 2 out of 5? Like, this is one of the best ones, but it's only a 2 out of 5. We couldn't find any better than this.
Even better, who the fuck tries to rate Alan Holdsworth as a 2 out of 5?
I know. Well, have you seen the video?
I haven't, to be fair.
It's not a very good tuition video.
It's basically just him playing mad shit.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Half of it's performance.
That's why I love Michael Lee Firkin's fucking shrapnel video.
Yep.
Hot licks.
Yep. That's a belter of a video, actually.
Oh, but then it brings the tab up on the screen, and you remember that you watched this on a CRT TV that was maybe about 20 inches tall, and there is no chance that you could even see his face, never mind the tab.
Yep. So I'm just I'll blast through what we got on here. Chet Atkins gets started on guitar. I've not seen that one.
Don't know.
But I'd certainly like to give it a watch.
See, I'm very much a noob to these, except the things I could find on YouTube when I was younger.
Yeah, well, same, but then I went out and started buying them. So there's only actually a few on here that I have. There are some belters on there, to be fair.
There might be later fucking episodes in that, or issues of that book that have got yours on them.
They're my legendary instructional videos. This one, though, the Don Mock, the blues from rock to jazz, that was a big influence on me.
I've seen that in your collection.
That's
sitting there. Yeah.
Frank Gambale Mode's No More Mystery. It's not too bad. The questionable ones, though.
That's a good one.
That was what I was going to say. So Paul Gilbert's Terrifying Guitar Trip. No.
It's not much an instructional video. It's him like just playing shit in silly videos.
Yeah.
Is that the one that's got down to Mexico and it's got the mariachi band in the background?
No, that's the second one.
That's afterwards. Is that the one where he pulls the rabbit?
That's the third one. No, pulling the rabbit out of the hat is the first Intense Rock.
Okay.
So you got Intense Rock 2, and then Terrifying Guitar Trip.
It's been a long time since I've watched anything like that. So
this is just really a collection of licks and little skits and things. It's not great compared to the two that came before it.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, Intense Rock, is one of the best instructional videos of all time. No question about it. So why that isn't here, I don't know. Why they went for that one, I'm not entirely sure. But you got John Petrucci's Rock Discipline, Steve Morse's Power Lines. That is a great video. Legacy of Country Fingerstyle Guitar by Buster B. Jones. Now I have that down there. I've got all of Buster B. Jones' videos.
Because you love him.
I didn't discover him until a couple of years ago. So, I wish I'd paid a little bit more attention to this magazine when I was younger.
If only you'd seen his DVDs in HD, you could have seen what it said in his fretboard and known who he was.
Yeah. Again, like they've done the same here. Joe Pass and Evening With. As far as Joe Pass videos go, and Evening With is the worst of the lot of them. So,
yeah, they put that into the top 20 best in the advanced category.
Yep.
Good effort, boys.
So the only other thing that I will make mention of in here is the Digitech RP300A. £200, a total guitar best buy. We will see this as a running theme as we look through these magazines in future episodes. Anytime there is a sort of multi-effects modeler, or the pod, or anything like that, which is a multi-effects unit, anything that's like modern and progressive technology, no matter how shit it was, it's always getting that 5-star rating.
A big ass pat in the back.
So yeah, they've gone with, so should I forget about owning a pedal board or of stomp boxes? If you're a purist, where only vintage gear will do, then this probably won't set your chest wig on fire. To everyone else, the RP300A represents itself as an exciting and affordable product. There's every effect that you could possibly want or feasibly use, and the overall quality of sounds is brilliant. If you get techno fear at the thought of handling a multi-effects unit, don't. Because even for a non-tech head like yours truly, it's quicker to suss out than a tin opener manual. All the presets are instantly available as soon as the unit's plugged in. I have to stop there. Oh, sorry, are there units on the market where they're not, where you have to use it for 10 months before they unlock? Like, fucking it. Like, in-app
Achievement
purchases.
system.
Yeah, exactly.
You've achieved level 4, distortion.
The RP300A is a one-stop shop of awesome effects encased in a gig-worthy metal chassis, all for the price of a single vintage pedal.
I remember that being fairly sturdy, but the buttons feeling like shit.
Yes. I didn't play that one. I played the one that had just 2 foot switches on it and not an expression pedal.
So the RP100, I'm sure.
Take that.
Thanks, babe.
See what's worth mentioning here. So the fun thing that I thought we were going to do from these is pub quizzes. But there's also in this one, this is January 2004. So January is always a good year.
I done 14.
A good month. Because you can review the year that came before. So here we have the best guitar albums of 2003. So I'm going to reel these off. I'm going to do 50 downwards, right? You can tell me what you think of them. Okay. Ryan Adams, Rock and Roll.
Pass.
Arch Enemy, Anthems of the Rebellion.
Good.
Anthems of Rebellion.
Yes.
Yeah, classic. They've gone single-handedly reviving the lost art of shred guitar. Sweden's Arch Enemy are the clearest indication yet that the guitar community is slowly embracing more technical stuff.
I mean, I don't think that's true because they weren't very technical, except Chris Amott solos.
Yeah, there's a couple of moments on there where you go, nice. But yeah, for the most part, yeah, no.
I'm trying to think what track it is that scored it.
Silent Wars.
Yeah, it's Silent Wars, you're right.
13-8-bit, yeah.
That's good.
Mike Stern, Voices.
Never listened to it.
I love Mike Stern, but it's not my favourite Mike Stern album. The Cramps, Friends of Dope Island.
Sounds terrible.
No idea. Hatebreed, Rise of Brutality.
I do occasionally like Hatebreed. There's a few Party Cannon riffs that pretty much are Hatebreed rip-offs.
But you'd never go, one of the best guitar albums of the year.
I couldn't tell you who their guitarist is, so absolutely not. And they are a beatdown band, so it's just really aggressive riffs.
Longview, Mercury. Yeah.
It's never at my CD player.
Ry Cooder and Manuel Galban. So I love Ry Cooder. I've not heard this album in particular.
I don't know either, but I know Ry Cooder's a ridiculous guitarist.
Yeah. Ronnie Jordan, At Last. He's a great jazz player.
Don't know him.
Great. He died just recently, I believe, yeah.
God rest him.
The Mars Volta.
Fantastic.
Deloused in the Comatorium.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm lost. That is a great album.
That is a really
and
good
they
album.
are fucking mental.
Yep.
Genuinely mental, as in, can you please stop taking heroin?
Yeah.
Mental. Like, stop it.
Billy Talent.
They actually, surprisingly, for a kind of poppy, kind of almost punk rock band, had a lot of cool guitar things going on. They did a lot of really good harmony between the guitar and the vocals as well, actually. So as much as I don't like their music, they were good in that respect.
Ryan Adams, again.
Again? Oh,
Yeah, Love Is Hell.
listen to his album, sounds
He
like
did
hell.
well. Sixth, The Trees Are Dead.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that they said that somehow Arch Enemy being the next level of technicality, and then they put sixth above them in the list is madness, because sixth stuff is genuine technical insanity.
London-based metalers give free rein to their prog rock impulses with commendable disregard for fashion of prevailing musical trends, frantic dual harmony leads, fiendishly complex time signatures, one finger drop D metal. This ain't.
It's true.
Yeah. I remember listening to that at the time and not being able to get on board because of the singer.
The singers.
Singers, yeah.
Yes.
Vocal, I should say.
Mikey and Justin. Yeah, I understand that. It's very much an acquired taste. But when they get it right, some of the tracks are just fucking blow the dick off you.
Yeah. I'm more into it now.
Yeah.
Radiohead, Hail to the Thief.
You know what? For how much everyone bangs on about Radiohead, I've never sat and gave them a listen. Which is probably pretty bad, because the songs that I have heard I really liked.
Yeah, I mean, I've played a few of their songs over the years, but I've never been a huge fan.
You're not in a rush to go back to that?
No.
They can see in your face.
Yeah. Deep Purple, Bananas.
Pass?
Yeah, I know. Godsmack, Faceless.
I Stand Alone.
Yeah.
Shitty song. But
Yeah.
song, nonetheless.
The one, Tony Rombola, the guitar player. Yeah.
Do you know who that is? Same.
Yeah. Well, Godsmack's guitarist.
Oh, sorry, I thought this was the next album. Apologies.
Rambola, sorry. I wasn't reading his name there. I know. These things
okay,
I know,
right. Yeah.
I was just showing off, and then I got it wrong. Because, that surprises me, putting Godsmack's Faceless above Arch Enemy or Sixth. It's just his guitar, like... Tony, yeah.
I wonder what record labels were interested in putting money into Total Guitar.
Yeah.
Listen, we all know the game.
Nothing Face.
I do not know who that is.
Buddy Guy.
I know who Buddy Guy is. I'm not interested. Well done, you've got a polka dot strat. Go on with it.
Black Label Society, The Blessed Hell Ride.
I do like BLS and I like that album.
Love that album. So another extreme blues metal fest from Rock's unreconstructed guitar hero. Sorry, it does say unreconstructed. I don't feel that works there. Zakk Wylde, who produced, sang and wrote the songs and played bass, piano and Les Paul like he was on the front line of a war against mediocrity.
Okay.
I'll give it that. It's my favourite Black Label album. So
that's fair enough.
First one I got as well, so that's probably why it's my favourite.
I think mine's is Mafia.
It's got Stoned and Drunk on it, so that's a belter of a track. Some great playing on that. Richard Hawley. Here's one. This will take you back. Machine Head, Through the Ashes of Empire.
Machine Head.
Got Imperium on it.
Oh, Machine Head. That was about the only track on that album that was worth listening to, I think.
Yeah.
I did like The Blackening, which is the album that came out after that. But that was like 2009, maybe.
Stereophonics.
But one.
You got to go there to come back.
Don't know that one.
The Offspring, Splinter. You see, we're going to get there with Total Guitar Magazine. There's an issue where Noodles from The Offspring, Joe Satriani and Mick Thompson interview each other. And Mick Thompson's unmasked in it as well, which was his first public unmasking type thing. He just forgot to bring his mask to the interview. It was like, shit, I didn't think about taking photos.
Just blanked me out.
Yeah. And he's pretty cool in there. Those three guys were my three biggest guitar heroes when I first started playing. So The Offspring, yeah.
Everybody wanted a duct taped Ibanez Talman.
Yeah, there's a review of it maybe in this issue. There's certainly one at some point. I really wanted one. I couldn't afford one, so I duct taped my my Washburn BT9.
Nice.
Yep. That album, not so great. Yeah. Back in the good old days of MX Tabs, my username on there was Noodles is the King. Yeah.
My Ultimate Guitar forum username, I think the account still exists, is Paolo Gilberto.
So that's not a bad name.
No, it was alright.
Pat Metheny's One Quiet Night.
I don't know it, but I know who Pat Metheny is.
Yeah, I don't really like that album. Damien Rice, Oh.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there was
daughter and shit on there.
Pretty sure there was a lot of piano in that album rather than guitar.
I can only remember like acoustic stuff, acoustic guitar, and
It's not a guitar album. It's the gist of it.
yeah, singer-songwriter album. Kings of Leon,
Fair album.
which is youth and young manhood. I've not heard it. Blink-182, the self-titled album, which has what? Is it I Miss You? Is that what that song's called?
And Down is on that as well, I'm sure, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
I love to take off your pants and jacket, but I didn't buy anything before or after.
right.
Absolutely love that. I had it
Enemy
on
of the State,
other
no?
day, actually. No.
Dude Ranch, no?
Nope.
Terrible.
Nope.
Terrible.
Yeah. Well, because I was into the pop punk thing, and when I discovered Offspring, like that was enough.
Oh, aye.
And then I got into metal. So
Because I'm pushing into the heavy territory.
yeah. Korn, Take a Look in the Mirror.
I don't think I know that one.
I believe that's got I Did My Time on it,
Which was alright tune.
which was a good tune and was the theme tune for Tomb Raider.
So it was.
Had a good music video with Angelina. I'm sure Angelina Jolie's in the video to that.
She might be. Is there not another one they did? Did they not do a song for one of the later on Resident Evils? Thoughtless?
Thoughtless wasn't for Resident Evil.
No, because the video was Resident Evil, I'm sure.
No, that was Slipknot, My Plague.
No, I know that one, but it's one of the later Slipknots when they're in the desert and there's the weird compound, and
Okay,
I'm sure there's a bit where like
that may be the case. That's not Thoughtless. Thoughtless is the video for Thoughtless is a creepy one. The video to Thoughtless is it's like an HR Geiger thing, but pink.
But yeah, and it's them in the weird
Things
sax and
coming
that, but
through
I'm
the-
sure there's stuff cut through that that is I might be wrong, but I'm sure that's what I remember. We can watch it later.
Yeah, I put on some Korn singles just recently on Spotify just to kind of transport me back into that zone.
Oh aye, like there's a band called Mincing Fury of Guttural Clamour and Queer Decay. Right, I think they're for the Czech Republic. They're one of the wildest bands I've ever seen live, and we had the pleasure of sharing the stage with them at Grind Feast. Don't quote me, I'm going to say 2016, and they started a song as if they were going to play Blind by Korn, and they got the intro perfect to the point where it comes in with the and then they just held this big open note, and the singer just done this ridiculous, horrible, low inhale like for about 20 seconds and just went into this grind song, and it was the best thing I've ever seen. Do you guys like Korn? So good.
Yeah, I was not really that into them.
Good singles, not great albums.
What it was for me that like really did my head in was just how popular Freak on a Leash was.
That's why you didn't like it?
I heard it so much that it got to the point where just hearing Jonathan Davis' voice made me want to kill myself. And I kind of regret that, because like listening back to them now, songs like Thoughtless or
I Did My Time.
I Did My Time and things like that, they were good songs.
Adidas, that's a good song.
Yep. That's a weird song, creepy. Yep.
It is, but it's good.
Anyway, I'll carry on. Bill Frisell. Bill was a great player, but certainly in 2003 I didn't care for that type of thing.
Was it jazz?
Yeah. We're going to get some really offensive choices as I continue on with this, trust me. Electric Six, Fire.
Offensive in what regard? They shouldn't be on the top 50 list?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I don't consider Electric Six a guitar band. I consider them a catchy pop band with guitar in it. I don't think the instrument's the main focus here. I think it's usually Dick Valentine saying weird things.
You must have been a dance commander.
Exactly.
Giving out the orders for fun. You must have been a dance commander because you know that he's the only one. I'm too ill to go.
No.
Who gives the orders here? All right.
But he did.
No,
Commendable, man. Well done, big man. That's good.
I enjoyed that album. I remember going out and buying that, and the same day that I bought Evanescence's album.
I used to think Evanescence's name was Even Scene.
To be fair, I thought Placebo's name was Placebo. So.
That's nearly as bad as mine. Good game. Good game. GG.
Do you remember Rodrigo y Gabriela?
Yes, they did a cover of Ryan, did they not?
They did?
I think it was on that album. The flamenco couple.
Yeah. No, that was on. I'm sure it's on the album that has like the dragon eye or the dinosaur eye. I don't.
I didn't listen to much of their stuff, but
yeah,
I remember them not being popular for long, so I would think it'd be the album that was out when the people were talking about them.
So as we're getting into all of these artists that get higher up on the list, you know these are the ones that devoted their time to appearing in the magazine, right?
Yes.
And this next band were in the magazine all the time, the Donners. Do you remember the Donners?
I recognise the name.
Girl band.
I got that impression.
I forget their lead guitarist's name. I thought they were quite cool, actually. I remember listening to their album a fair bit when it came out, just purely because, not because it was a girl band, but because every time they were featured in the magazine or anywhere, they made a big point of saying every song has a cool guitar solo on it. That was a reason for me to check them out. So
yeah, that's a good reason.
But yeah, I certainly don't remember that compared to a lot of these other albums.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the offensive one. The Distillers. Coral Fang.
Why do you think the Distillers counts as being offensive? Was that not around about the same time they like drained the blood and stuff out?
Yeah.
Tell me you wouldn't have banged Brodie Dahl. You didn't find her incredibly attractive?
No.
You didn't?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
She looked like my mum.
That's a good reason not to be attracted to her.
Yeah, especially back then when my mum was younger. Yeah. I didn't like tattoos growing up. You have to remember, like, my mum has her head tattooed.
Does she?
Yeah. Yeah, she's got, like, she used to have an undercut and tribal down the side of her head.
Oh, okay.
So,
each to their own. But in regards to the album, if it's the one that's got Drain the Blood on it,
it's got Drain the Blood on it, yeah.
It was quite interesting. I can't say I've listened to them much since 2003, but I still know who they are.
But one of the best guitar albums of the year.
Yeah, that's really
yeah. That was my point. Jeff Beck.
I mean, anything Jeff Beck's going to put out, good or bad, is probably going to get considered a good guitar album because it's Jeff Beck, and he quite rightly deserves that.
Yeah,
that place.
Marilyn Manson, the golden age of the grotesque.
Is that John 5?
Yeah,
one of the first albums John 5 was on.
The first. Yeah.
I mean, fair play because John 5 is pretty fucking good. But again, Marilyn Manson not really that focused on guitar stuff. What songs are on that?
We should bring Nelson in for this. She'd be able to tell us everything about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Back for the Goth days. Any idea what songs were on that?
I would imagine Tainted Love, Mob Scene. I mean, I guess I could check.
I mean, Tainted Love was pretty much more kind of weird EDM electro vibe than guitar. If Golden Age. You started in Golden Age and it came up Golden Age of The Simpsons. Not what we're getting at, but okay. Track listing.
Yeah, Mob Scene. This is the new shit.
Yeah.
So not Tainted Love, that would be the album before.
Yeah.
But yeah, John 5's got writing credit on most of the album.
Yeah.
So all of the album. Only one song he doesn't have writing credit on.
I think I'd have to sit and properly give it a listen to say whether it's a guitar album or not. But to be fair, I think it's always been the case that Marilyn Manson has promoted his band members as much as himself to some degree. But he's always been like the forefront because he's such a zany character.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that this isn't really like a guitar album. This is an art album. You know, it's about Marilyn Manson. I was never a huge fan. I obviously love John 5 though. Yeah, this is why John 5 is rich. You know, this will be one of the reasons John 5 is rich. Not like has a little bit of money, but he's got writing credit on every. There's literally a song on here that Marilyn Manson doesn't have writing credit on. There are 2 songs on this album that only John 5 has writing credit on.
Okay.
And this album was a big album.
Yep.
So, well done, John.
Did we speak about John 5 when we spoke about the richest guitarists? Because that's an interesting one.
Yeah. I felt like I looked him up.
We might have mentioned him.
So how much is John 5 worth? Did you see Andy James's comment on that? On the
no,
net
I
worth
didn't.
thing? Okay. So Andy James commented on my post when I put it up and said, I'll tell you a funny net worth story. And he sent me a link to his net worth on some website, and he's valued at $1.2 million. And Andy said one of my students or someone sent this to me, and I almost fell off my chair. I've not got a pot to piss in.
Fair play, Andy. Fair play.
Love him. He's funny.
Let's see what.
4 million.
John 5 played for David Lee Roth.
Yeah, he's got an album with David Lee Roth.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Jesus. Oh well, okay, fair enough.
So, he's probably not got more money because he spent most of it on Telecasters.
That's alright.
Martin Simpson, Led Zeppelin, Zwan.
Zwan was, who was Swan again? Was that Smashing Pumpkins?
Yeah.
What do you call him? Billy Corgan's other project. I never listened to it.
Poison the Well.
I know the name. I've never listened to them. I think they're a metalcore band.
Robin Ford, Keep On Running.
I don't know who Robin Ford is, but I'm not bothered by I'm not big in blues.
Yeah, no, that's fair. We're getting into the top 10 now. So, Funeral for a Friend.
That album was a massive influence in my ability for guitar. Like, massive.
Yeah.
They were the first band I saw live, only because they were supporting Iron Maiden, and Iron Maiden was the first concert I ever went to.
Okay.
And they were great. They did start an Iron Maiden chant, and the chant was louder than them when they played their next song, which was a bit silly.
Yeah.
But fair play to the guys, they made a good career out of it. And that album's fucking... I love it. It's not great by any matter of means. I mean, it's kind of metalcore Welsh emo, but I love it. It's got a special place in my heart.
Paul Gilbert's Burning Organ.
Oh,
that has a special place in my heart.
Absolutely, man. What
Bliss,
a fucking album.
My Religion. Iron Maiden, Dance of Death.
Another great album. That was the first tour I went to, and that was when Funeral for a Friend was supporting them. Again, fucking nailer.
Look, he's not even making this shit up. Like, this all checks out.
Mm-hmm.
He's consistent.
Deftones. Do some true facts, bros. Deftones.
Yep.
What album?
Self-titled.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. I've never been a fan, but
each to their own. I like Steph Carpenter's weird approach to writing music. It's like there can be bits that are just meant to be heavy as fuck, and then Chino decides, well, I want to make a pop song with some keyboards in it, and then they just kind of go with that.
White Stripes, Elephant.
Not a guitar album.
Yeah. Metallica, Saint Anger.
Only a guitar album because it says Metallica on it.
Yeah. Jane's Addiction, Strays.
That's a weird one because I do like Dave Navarro, but he's also nothing special.
Rancid, Indestructible.
If they were bass album guitars...
Is that Tim Armstrong?
That guy can play like fuck, but otherwise I don't think Rancid have really got anything else to say. Guitar-wise, can you tell me any Rancid songs with incredible guitar riffs?
Is If You Fall Back Down a Rancid song?
Yes, but again, all bass. The guitar's just going like dun 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 dun.
The next one's a belter. The Darkness, Permission to Land.
Still jam that album.
Smashing
to this day.
Yeah.
Fucking Love Is Only a Feeling.
Yeah.
Get Your Hands Off My Woman. Black Shuck. Fucking Give It a...
Friday
Give It Up.
Night.
Giving It Up.
Giving Up.
Giving Up, that's it. Friday Night. Fucking... The full album's great. Let's be honest. That's a great album.
But the number one album they've gone for... maybe not the best album of the year, but it's a good album. Muse's Absolution.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't... It is a guitar album because Matt Bellamy done some weird shit with the guitar, and at the time Total Guitar were obviously all about the weird innovations in technology, and that was when basically he brought that Manson out with the Chaos Oscillator, or Chaos Pad, whatever it was, and he's fucking built in fuzz pedals, and
it's got Dying Thoughts of an Atheist on there, I believe.
That sounds like something you'd be into.
Yeah. Well, so I was in a Muse cover band around this time.
Oh my god, it all comes out in the wash.
Yeah, so I played all of this stuff. Well, I was working with a guy who was really into Muse and he was really into Red Hot Chili Peppers, so we danced between just covering those two bands. So I've played a lot of both of those bands.
I am sorry.
And I used to go out and do it on my my BC Rich Mick Thompson.
Yes!
I'm so fucking cool!
You used to be.
Yeah.
Now you're just some fucking snob with nice guitars and a cool studio and a great mate. No blow main trumpet in.
Right, so Total Guitar Pub Quiz. Mm-hmm. Well, look, we've only been going for an hour. That's not all that offensive.
No, but soon enough we've got to shout about the Heart Machine as well.
Yeah. And System of a Down. So, cool. Mm-hmm. These are going to be exceptionally hard because they're relevant at the time.
Yes.
But this will be fun. So, what was the name of Machine Head's new album? Was it Ashes to Ashes, Through the Ashes of Empires, The Empire Strikes Back, or Ashes and Empires?
That's a hard one. To the Ashes of Empires.
Yes. I agree.
We just spoke about it, which is probably the only reason why I remember.
Okay, here's another good one, right? And this, whose UK tour are Funeral for a Friend supporting in December? Was it Deftones, Metallica, Linkin Park, or Iron Maiden?
It definitely wasn't the 8th of December 2003 at the Glasgow SECC where they supported Iron Maiden. I
thoroughly love how your story is just matching up consistently now. It must be true.
If anything, it's just proof that I am not a liar. Otherwise, what?
The next question, mate. Look, what kit does Muse's Matt Bellamy mainly use on the Absolution album? Is it a Manson guitar with a Mesa Boogie amp, a Gibson SG with a Marshall amp, a Manson guitar with a Diesel amp, a Les Paul with a Marshall amp?
That's a good question.
We know it's a Manson.
Yeah.
But is it a Diesel or a Mesa Boogie?
I'm going to say Diesel because he liked to be a bit weird.
I want to say Diesel too for the exact same reasons, right? But the reason I feel that if Matt Bellamy was playing Diesel, they would have been huge. Having said that, James Hetfield also played a VH4 for a long time, and it still didn't elevate Diesel to like.
Yeah.
So I'd go with Diesel. On
I
that.
think Diesel's problem is
So look.
their manufacturing production. They're quite small scale in that respect. Their stuff's great. The stuff's out there. There's plenty of players with them, but they're not trying to push it like Marshall and Mesa Biggie did. Like, here's 10 billion out of the one day.
My issue with Diesel is the design of some of their amps, the look. I fell in love with the Diesel Schmidt. Beautiful amp. Ugliest thing I've ever seen. So beautiful in the way it played. Sounded great. Loved it. Wanted one. But I'll show you it. Keep talking.
Okay. I'm trying what other. The VH4 was an interesting one. That's the one that's got the 4 like stacked channels, isn't it? And there's also the Herbert, which is another ugly amp. Well, it's ugly, different, strange, unique. Oh, aye, that's something else.
So it kind of looks like an old Mesa, right?
I think that the best part about it, I think, is the Comic Sans Schmidt.
Yeah, you can't get a sense of how deep that amp is.
But as in like depth.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like a combo that somebody's cut the speakers out of.
That is a deep amp.
Yes.
It's like they didn't want it to be too wide,
It's wider than the cab.
so they just condensed it and made it thick.
But tell me how it is.
Oh, incredible. Absolutely incredible, but ugly. It bugged me. Cool, so we're doing well. We got 3 for 3. Who did Murder Doll AC Slade replace when he joined the band? Was it Joey Jordison, Wes Borland, Billy Hordle, I believe that is, or Trip Eisen?
Not a fucking clue. I'm going to say Joe Jordison.
He was in the band with Joey Jordison. Obviously wasn't Wes Borland, so it's one of the last two. I will go with Trip Eisen. I'm pretty sure it's Trip Eisen. Yeah. Woo! What key is Eric Clapton's Layla in?
Never played it.
D minor, D major, E minor, or E major?
What's a D minor?
I believe it is D minor, yeah. Yep. Classic. Which Metallica song did Korn cover on a recent B-side? Was it Master of Puppets, One, Fade to Black, or Enter Sandman?
Was it one? Because I think they'd done that for the Metallica featuring Hall of Fame tribute thing.
I don't actually know the answer to this. Not the slightest idea. And I would love to see the Korn guitarist play any of those. But let's have a look. So 6B. It was 1. So far between us on a pub quiz, as a team, we've 6 out of 6.
Yeah, I've done it right.
What note is the bottom string of a 7-string guitar normally tuned to? Is it B, E, A, or C?
Well, I mean, it depends how you're going to classify the bottom string. But if we're assuming the bottom string means the lowest string, then B.
Yep. What did Tom Morello tell us in Total Guitar 113 was his favourite Led Zeppelin song?
The one that made him the most money.
Black Dog, Stairway to Heaven, Out on the Tiles, or The Ocean?
Fuck knows. So we're just going to have to really guess this one. I'm going to say Out on the Tiles.
I want to say Black Dog. That's right. You were right. Out on the Tiles.
Good guess.
Yes. How many years passed between the release of Led Zeppelin's first album and Physical Graffiti? 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, or 6 years?
Past 6 years. Let's guess.
I'd probably go for 3.
You might be right. I don't know.
No, you're right. 6 years.
How the fuck am I nailing this by accident?
Yep. Which Led Zeppelin tune did the Beastie Boys sample on the album Licensed to Ill? Stairway, The Ocean, Whole Lotta Love, or Black Dog?
I don't know. Do you know?
I don't know.
I would think Whole Lotta Love.
I'd say Whole Lotta Love is probably is put in there as a trick, because you'll think of like Top of the Pops with that. So Black Dog.
Okay.
It's The Ocean.
All right. Okay.
They like their Zeppelin questions. Where was the majority of Stairway to Heaven recorded? Jimmy Page's house, Island Studios, Abbey Road, or Headley Grange?
Again, not a fucking
I'm
clue.
pretty sure it was Jimmy's house.
In fact, yeah, because they not do
Headley Grange.
Fuck's sake. I was sure that when the Levy Breaks was recorded in a random staircase somewhere because the reverb was so good He's mic'd at the top of the hall.
See this guitar?
Mm-hmm.
Whose is it?
That's Matt Bellamy's.
That's
a Manson.
What chord is this?
Why are you asking me chord questions? You know for a fact
It's a quiz.
I know shit all about chords.
Is it a D9, an E major 9, a B minor 7, or an E7 sharp 9? It's an E7 sharp 9.
Okay,
Hendrix chord. Which guitar does this silhouette belong to? This is useless for both people watching and for people listening, but is this guitar a Santana SE, a Nighthawk, an ESP Grinch, or a Fender Jazzmaster?
Definitely a Jazzmaster. I mean, which guitar does this silhouette belong to? When you read that question, I thought, whose signature is it? And I thought, that's probably Kurt Cobain's Jagstang, but it is a Jazzmaster.
Who is this? Zach, Chad Kroger.
I think that's Chad Kroger.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a blurred face, and it looks like a crazy Neanderthal. No, it looks like Billy Connolly with a unibrow. None of you can see this, I'm sorry.
Look at this photograph.
Every time I do it makes me laugh.
This is how it reminds me of who it really is.
Oh, it's too bad.
Yeah. Oh. Good work.
Fucking zinged them yet again.
Yeah. Which Iron Maiden album cover is this?
Killers.
Is it Life After Death?
It's not Killers, I'm talking shit.
Seventh Son, Number of the Beast, or Best of the Beast? It's Number of the Beast.
Number of the Beast. Yeah.
Which AC/DC song do these lyrics come from? I'm a rolling thunder, a pouring rain, I'm coming on like a hurricane. My lightning's flashing across the sky. You're only young, but you're gonna die. Shake a leg, Back in Black, Shoot to Thrill, or Hell's Bells?
I don't actually know. Is it Hell's Bells? That's Hell's Bells, it's got to be.
I'm sure it's Hell's Bells. Hell's Bells will shoot you. 17. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Which guitar does Queen's of the Stone Age frontman Josh Homme play? A Manson, an Ovation, a Les Paul, or an Ibanez?
I mean, Les Paul isn't a brand.
That's a doubly tough question.
I'm pretty sure he played Ibanez at that point.
What did he play in 2003?
I'm pretty sure he played a... What is it? I think they were actually called the EZ back then. It was like the double cut Les Paul shape.
I remember him playing something really weird.
Oh, he played a few weird guitars, like semi-hollows and shit, but that was later on. This is around about the time when Songs for Death came out, when he wasn't playing too weird shit.
So you think Ibanez? It's obviously not, it's not a Manson.
It's not a Manson. It's definitely not a Les Paul.
Could easily be an Ovation. Did they make any? Did they do like one-off electrics, or did they do electrics full stop?
They might have done, but they would have been fucking stupid.
Yeah. It was an Ovation.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't trust his judgment considering he kicks photographers in the head. I certainly don't trust his judgment guitars as well.
What was Ozzy Osbourne's first job? Working in a slaughterhouse, working on a building site, working at a local farm, or working at a butcher's?
He was working in a cocktail bar before I met him. As a waitress. Sorry. What was it?
Working in a slaughterhouse, working on a building site.
He did work in a slaughterhouse because I'm sure it's been. He made famous comments about it.
Yep. What is Marilyn Manson guitarist John 5's signature guitar called? Is it John's Axe, the John 5, the Manson, or the John Lowry?
That's the John 5.
It's the John 5. What is the name of Limp Bizkit's new guitarist? Is it Mike Smith, John Smith, Mark Smith, or Dave Smith?
Mike Smith.
Yeah. Why was Leonard Skinner's drummer Bob Burns sacked? He couldn't play for Toffee. He threw a cat out of a hotel window and chased the tour manager with a pickaxe. He slept with the tour manager's wife and then chased him with a chainsaw. He was so screwed on drugs that he jumped out of the hotel window on the tour, onto the tour manager.
Either way, all of the answers are good, but I don't know. I'm hoping he jumped out the window.
Well, the cat story, I know, like that happened somewhere. But it might not have been with the drummer. That's a story that happened.
You're gonna have to dig this out the archive, and we need to tell this story because I don't know it.
I have to go with B on that. It is, yeah. Yes.
Fucked the cat out the window and then attacked the tour manager
with a pickaxe. Yeah. What unusual time signature do the Foo Fighters use in their hit single "Times Like These"? Da 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 da
5/4
da 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Da da.
6/4.
It's 7. I'm sorry. Da 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 da.
7/4.
7. Yes. So it's not 2/2.
7/4.
That's not an odd time signature. 2/2. 516. It's not 516. It's not 13/8. So 7/4.
Yeah.
Which guitarist walked out on his band's tour last month? I know this. Was it Evanescence's Ben Moody, Pearl Jam's Stone Gossard, Nickelback's Ryan Peake, or Jane's Addiction's Dave Navarro?
I guess Evanescence.
It was,
because I remember there being a bit of controversy about that.
Yeah.
And he was a founding member, was he not?
Yeah.
What happened? Was that when all the rumours were going
He
out?
just hated her.
Something Amy Lee just constantly eating McDonald's and being a bitch to people.
Yeah.
I'm not even being trying to be like nasty or that. I remember it being in Total Guitar where they showed you like a picture of her having a case of McDonald's burgers delivered. Might have been for the full band or the crew, but it was basically just her holding a big, like, more than 24 burgers on a tray. Like, fuck yes. Like, okay. Yeah. I can't judge anyone, man. I've ate 4 double cheeseburgers for my breakfast one day.
I mean,
it's happened.
Yeah. It would be no surprise if I said I'd done that. Okay, last one. The Jekyll and Hyde distortion pedal was produced by which company? Digitech, Line 6, Boss, or Visual Sound?
Visual Sound.
The Jekyll and Hyde.
Visual Sound.
Sure?
Yeah, it's red and white, is it not?
You're right.
Yeah, it was a 2-gain stackable channel distortion pedal, I'm sure.
So last feature in this, just worth drawing attention to, is Gear of the Year 2003, right?
Worth laughing at is what you're saying.
Yes, absolutely. So Gear of the Year 2003. And you just really get an idea of what they feel is they love technology. They just absolutely love it. Best accessory, the winner is the Tascam CD GT1, which was an old thing that you put a CD in and you allowed you to slow it down.
Dave Mustaine done an advert for one of those.
Yeah.
And it was fucking terrible.
Under their best
was a selling point, sorry, just not to interrupt, that the selling point was that it didn't change the pitch. You could slow it down but still play it in the relative pitch.
Well, I might as well read what they've put. So Tascam CD GT1 enables the user to slow down a track to half speed in order to learn those difficult, fast, widdly guitar solos. The neat part is that slowing it down doesn't change the pitch of the track, so you don't have to adjust your tuning. Also, solos can be looped to allow for constant rehearsal. Also has 43 built-in modelling effects, including 15 different distortions.
Ooh. Poor man struggling. All this for your entertainment.
Yeah.
I just want to cut in the scene for fucking Gladiator. I'm not entertained!
Yeah, and there's people sat there at home going, why do I listen to this shit?
Yep. Since episode 1.
Under their best guitar head, under £900, they went with the Marshall Mode 4.
Mm-hmm.
I'd never played one of those.
No.
And I really wanted to because Darren Malakian advertised them.
I've heard that the Mode 4 cabs are great.
Right.
I think they've got V60 speakers in them and they're like fucking bulletproof. Still see quite a lot of guys using them. But yeah, no.
They've gone with this is a true monster of rock with its Nigel Tufnell approved extreme gain and an eardrum pulverizing 350 watt power amp. It's a hard unit to beat and stand next to. The Mode 4 is actually 2 amps in one box, unhinged high gain madness, voiced for the modern guitarist, a fabulous piece of kit.
There is no need for 350 watts. And it'll be nowhere near that anyway, it'll be like 120 actual watts.
They went on their over 900 category, the nominees for the best guitar amp over £900.
I know, I'm astounded as well.
Were an Ashdown Fallen Angel, a Hughes and Kettner Triamp, and a Marshall Super Lead.
The Triamp was a great amp, to be fair.
You're telling me there weren't better amps in 2003 than that?
Of course there is, but they're not talking about the best amps if we're not talking about bias. They're talking about the best amps of people who are going to give us money for saying you have the best amp.
Yeah.
And Ashdown had a big push at that point, let's be honest. I had a Fallen Angel 60 and it was fucked, and I had to bill at Magnum.
Magnum, yeah.
Drill out and fit a separate and brand new tube socket because the one that was on the board was cracked.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Best floor effects, they gave it to the Boss ME50.
Understandable. Still use mine to the day.
Nah, that reminds me. Remember my stag do when we just decided to randomly watch Borat?
No.
No?
But when that happened? Where?
I wasn't on my stag do, it was the night before. I just forget the important days of my life. Worst stag do of all time. Thanks, Kendo. But best rack.
We still had a good day, come on.
Yeah, we did. Best rack processor, they went with the Line 6 Pod XT Pro.
To be fair, the pods, despite the fact they haven't always been brilliant, have always been at like the kind of front of people grabbing them and being like, these are great, they do what you need to do.
But the other nominees were the Mesa Engineering Rectifier recording preamp, which
I've never heard.
I imagine it's probably better than the Line 6 Pod XT.
Yeah, but I think it's actually a modeler. I think that's probably just it's not even a processor. I think it's just a rack preamp. Oh, it will sound great. Is there what else is there? Zoom? No, we'll zoom right past that.
And the Line 6. Best guitar amp combo under 1,000. They went with the Line 6 Flex Tone. Do you like a Line 6?
They do, yeah.
Under best stomp box, the Digitech X series. Best stomp box.
I mean, no.
The best desktop modeler, the Line 6 Pod XT.
So that, but not on a rack. Okay.
Yeah. Do you remember these? The multi-track recorders that you used to have on the desktop things?
Yes.
I used to have, it was that, BR864.
Was it any good?
I recorded one song on it. One song.
No, then.
Yeah, before the Hellcat Molly album, the one song I ever wrote. Yeah. And I could probably still play it and sing it. It had
so you need to do it then?
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
not right now.
I will, but not right now. My voice
not right now.
Yeah, very strange that these had a share of the market at one point.
Have I ever let you hear any of my old bands?
I've heard bits and pieces, but
that'd be a fun one to do in the podcast. We can go through it and you can critique how terrible it is.
Oh yeah, then that's a great idea. We have to do that.
I'm into it. Like I'll get the Lost Persona EP and I'll get the Assassin's recordings.
Assassins.
I mean, I was about fucking 14.
Band. My wife loved that band.
She did actually. Yeah.
Best innovation.
More metal than your Moss kettle. That was the slag. But no, what was Blaney's one? Louder than your sister.
Kill me now. The best innovation went to Line 6's Variax. I'll read their blurb. The Line 6 Variax is an amazing concept, an instrument that offers a huge range of classic guitar tones. If you want a Strat style sound or a heavy Les Paul grind, just adjust the control knob. You can switch from authentic rockabilly tone with a Gretsch 6120 model to a vintage Gibson banjo. Oh, and throw in some sitar for good measure. There are even a couple of classic acoustic guitar sounds in there too. Awesome. There are now two models in the range. The original 500 and the new, more expensive 700. Whichever you choose, you will have the entire history of the guitar at your fingertips. A worthy winner. Yeah.
Same.
Garbage. My garbages. Yeah. So I don't want to spend much time on a third and final one at all. It was really just for one track that I wanted to play out of this.
All right, okay. So
it was that Queen thing.
Oh shit! Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Because I tried learning it.
I've seen a video of you trying to learn playing it. I never watched the video because I never had a chance.
So that's pub quiz, and this is
the transcription.
Our 50 best buys. So we'll come back to that at another point. Cause
oh my god. Yeah. Those two.
Oh yeah. Do you know whose that is? Because that's in our pub quiz. It's probably in this pub quiz actually.
George Lynch's.
It is. Yeah.
You know why? Because I had my first electric guitar was an ESP F50 in red, and I've still got it at mum and dad's house, and it's a fucking great guitar. Like, it's a piece of shit, but the neck on it's brilliant, and obviously it's nostalgia talking. It's totally rose tinted glasses, but I still love it.
Yeah.
For all those out there who have never looked up an ESP F shape, look up an ESP F50.
I'll bring one up.
Oh, Levi's going to show you the get an idea. That's the first electric I ever owned. I had a blue semi-acoustic that was meh, and then I owned this. Oh, that's a crap photo. Body Agathis. That's the very chap.
Well, you had it. Sorry, I wasn't. I was too busy looking for a picture. You had it in red.
Yes.
Oh, mate.
Tell me that's not a cool first electric guitar, though.
Virgin Slayer, mate. Virgin Slayer.
Mate, that's it. I'm an adult virgin. Da-na-na-na-na-na.
I mean, actually, as you go through the ads to these, one that made me burst out laughing was I saw a vintage metal axe. I had one of those.
No.
I was saving up for something nicer, and I went into my local music shop. They had a black vintage metal axe.
No, you did not own one of those.
I will get that. And when I was cleaning it, I wanted to get all the grime off the fretboard, off the dark rosewood fretboard.
Right, and did you rip off the fretboard?
I used a Brillo pad.
Oh. Schoolboy error.
Scratched it to shit.
Schoolboy error.
Yeah. That guitar ended up being in drop B for Slipknot, and there it stayed.
And then you got the Mick Thompson and decided to play.
I know.
Fucking.
I know. I've done questionable things in my life, Mike.
No, you continue to do questionable things in your life, such as be friends with me.
Yeah. So in this last one, we're not, like I say, I'm not going to talk too much about this. This is a 10th anniversary, and as soon as I saw this, I knew what transcription was in it, and I thought this will kick my ass. I'm gonna learn this. I'm gonna try and learn this because I couldn't at the time.
Metallica's one.
Yeah. They did a transcription of Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody. Now, we talked about this before. We can't play Andy Timmons' version because that will definitely get a copyright strike. I don't think this will get a copyright strike, so fuck it, I'll do it. Because it's worth reacting to this, because this Andy Timmons' version is probably cooler than this.
Yeah, but I think that's because it's like almost off the cuff and it's all has little idiosyncrasies in it. But I'm sure I remember this. I remember it off a CD.
This is immense. It's just trying to learn it, like this chord here. Nah. You listen to the audio and this is
that's this like a party cannon chord.
This is overdubbed to shit. But yes, at the time, when did this come out? This came out in 2004. So
who transcribed it?
This is Kit Morgan.
Well, props to Kit Morgan, because I remember seeing this, like, genuinely, I'm pretty sure I had this issue of the book and being like, right, I'll never play that.
Yeah. It's worth pointing out that this is a reprint, so this would have been in the magazine years before. So it's it's an old arrangement.
That's cool.
So I found it on YouTube. I thought I would I listened to it and we could talk about it while it was on. Because when I first hit play on this and I heard this, I'm just making sure that audio is being captured correctly. As soon as I heard that on the CD, I went, okay, yeah.
It's almost harpish.
That's a good job. Because what you'll often find with solo guitar arrangements of things is they compromise and they lose too much of the song in order to make it work. Yep. He's not done that at all.
No, he's not. I was actually just thinking that, like, it sounds like the melody and the chords are separate, but you can tell they've been played together.
Separation is good.
Yeah, it's really good. Good dynamics. I'm assuming that Kit was a jazz player.
I don't know much about Kit, actually, to be completely honest with you.
It just sounds like something a jazz player would be able to do.
He's got that solo down?
He hasn't half.
If I had to learn a version of this, it would be Andy Timmons' version, because it's a lot easier than this.
Galileo, Galileo, Galileo Figaro. Must be so hard to play like that and keep the pace.
There's just no way in the world that this is anything other than overdubbed the fuck.
200 punch-ins.
Now this is the part that blew my mind as a kid. Those are so well defined, those parts.
Clever. No, I think we'd do justice to this. Tommy Emmanuel.
Yeah, he'd slay this.
Guthrow. Back in the old school days. that a 565 RG?
No, 565 had a reverse headstock.
Is that another place that get done? Is that another place that get done for selling stolen guitars? No, it's not. It's not.
No, that's where most of Doug's stolen guitars came from, because he stole them while he worked there.
You better mute that.
Why? They're out of business.
Really matters, anyone can see. Levi Small.
So there we go. I mean, that to me is a wonderful arrangement.
The dynamics in it are fantastic, and see when he's playing lightly, it's almost harpish. Fuck off. That ruined it.
Yeah, so I enjoyed that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I've had that committed to memory. In fact, when I got rid of all of my Total Guitar magazines years and years ago, I went through and cut out some select articles and put them in plastic sheets. So I know I've got that transcription somewhere in a sheet, in a little wallet somewhere upstairs. Mm-hmm. Because that, you know, when everything went in the bin, that's one that you don't get rid of. That's too good to be lost to time.
Yep.
So I hope a few more people get to hear that. I'll just remind you that it's Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody by Kit Morgan. You can check it out on YouTube. Absolutely excellent. I dare anyone to try and learn it though. Like, just absolute crazy. So let's finish things up. Let's quickly talk Heart Machine and then System.
Yeah, we don't really need to say too much about the Heart Machine other than I do feel sorry for those people who were trying to prove the haters, i.e. us, wrong, but Jesus fucking Christ, a fill in his money had easy partied and all that.
People were donating to that campaign on the last day.
That's so fucking unfair, isn't it? Like, basically, for anyone who doesn't know what happened...
He got 250 quid on the last day.
Fucking hell. For those that don't know, basically, was it $3,000 they reached?
Yes.
And then they just deleted the campaign and disappeared with the money.
Well, here's the shitty thing. They didn't delete the campaign. The campaign is still there. He could have deleted the campaign. If he'd done that, everyone would have got their money back.
Mm-hmm. Because it's a stretch goal, they didn't.
He didn't flexible funding. It wasn't that he deleted the campaign. It was that he removed all of the content from the page. So the campaign still exists, but there's no record of what was promised. The video has been removed. All of the text has been removed. The campaign is just called T now. Yeah. Even all of the tiers that you could pledge for were removed, and someone commented and said, "Where's the guitar tier gone? I wanted to buy it." And Al responded and said, "Sorry, I don't know what happened to it. It's back now." And then 5 people ordered that guitar thing after all of this had still happened. So loads of people have said, "Oh, you got to give Al the benefit of the doubt. Like, maybe he was just embarrassed by what had happened, so he deleted all of the text and shit." And it's like, no, if he's embarrassed by what's happened, doing this hasn't changed that. It's still there. If you look up Heart Machine Indiegogo, you'll still find this campaign. There's still a record of the fact that he asked for £33,000 and only got 3,000
for an album that was already recorded.
Yeah,
there is no way he is embarrassed. You could not mark that man with a fucking hatchet. You couldn't paint a brass neck on the cunt.
So, yeah, absolutely shocking.
You think you could use the Internet Wayback Machine to see what was on it originally?
Yeah. You
could get archives and you can find it out.
I mean, we know what was on it. It was the promise of an album.
Yeah.
I just can't see a single reason why you do this unless it was because you didn't want people to be able to, years from now, be able to see the things that you'd promised. Because it was brought to my attention, the band Corelia.
That was the one Kieran spoke about, wasn't it? Corelia?
Yeah.
Corelia. Corelia.
They got 30,000 on their campaign.
It disappeared.
Yeah. I'm a professional. I'm just putting a cough sweet in my mouth to try and...
noises and shit.
Yeah.
It's now an ASMR channel.
Yeah. So... yeah, thanks, Al. You just made crowdfunding more difficult for decent people.
Yep. As if there haven't been enough fucking like charlatans and snake oil salesmen on there that put people off funding anything. And there you go. And despite the fact that there were a lot of people who obviously stuck up for you, like, nah, he would never do that. He's not like that. You have somehow fucked everyone over. And I think it's even more embarrassing that nothing's been said about it.
Yeah. It's just us leading the charge.
exactly. You know what I mean? I don't even mean like from them officially.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like, if that was a thing you...
Yeah, just pretend it's not happening.
Yeah, pretty much. Like a fucking see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil shit kind of scenario. That's so shit. It's so disrespectful to the people that believed in you.
Yeah.
And
I
wanted
had
to fund you.
someone reached out to me that purchased the guitar tab package on the last album.
Right.
And it was dreadful. Like, he sent me all of the transcriptions.
Was this the one you said you have never seen as much 8/4 in your life?
Yes. So I would love to... I'd love to bring it up and, show it off to you, but
see, the thing
you
is,
don't
right,
read music.
with no disrespect to anyone who did buy that tier, I mean, all you're going to get is the guitar profiles that you use to record the audio for the album anyway.
Well, this is interesting, right? The tabs that I have seen would disprove that theory because they weren't even accurate.
Maybe they've just changed them so that they can have plausible deniability, because genuinely, there are parts of the videos that Alan Women has done to go back and fucking beat a dead horse that are clearly the Guitar Pro RSE sound. Clearly. Undeniably. Evidently, in my opinion.
It's our catchphrase.
It's fucking getting that way, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, Heart Machine, bad.
Yeah, Heart Machine, very bad.
Bin with those cunts.
Yes. Final thing.
Except
This
Alex
isn't-
Rudinger, he's cool. Except Alex Rudinger, he's cool.
Yeah.
And Travis Orden, sorry, is the most recent Heart Machine drummer. Why, Travis? Why?
Oh, no, not the last thing. It's worth just mentioning.
Oh, yeah.
I really like the Ibanez EH10 Eric Hansel signature. Ibanez have announced a bunch of signature models, new signature models. You got the Andy Timmons.
That looks exactly the same as the last Andy Timmons,
Western AZ.
but it's exactly the same.
Yeah. Disgusting.
That is actually fucking bulk worthy, isn't it? That's just a sewer rip-off.
Actually looks like a Valley Arts.
Yeah, that too as well. It's the old 90s kind of guitars, aren't they? The Valley Arts Customs.
Look whose this is. Look at Mr. moaning about Charvel.
Rip them off the Charvel colour scheme.
And then he's just gone and ripped off the Matthias Asato signature.
You should definitely tweet that at him and see what he does.
That boy. Yeah, I dig
nice.
this because it's understated. There's no tramp stamp on it. Something, again, that made Andy James laugh because I ripped into these guitars and I was like, guitars that put fucking tramp stamps on the 12th fret and just like ruin the overall appeal. And Andy's like, bah, guilty. Yeah, that's understated. I could never get it because it's got a tremolo on it and I'm just not a trem guy. But I really like the idea of a telly neck pickup. That appeals to me. I like a telly pickup. I really like a telly pickup. So that, yeah, thought that was worth mentioning.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I talk about is System of a Down. Now, this isn't necessarily... I should bring my face back up.
You should, yeah, because you haven't really told me much about this.
It's news and not news.
Mm-hmm.
I like System of a Down. I really like System of a Down.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, they were one of my favourite bands. I've never seen them live. Annoys me. Their first album has just turned 20. So, they've been talked about recently because of that. I find it really interesting that they still gig. They still gig and they still play together a lot. Not doing regular tours, but most years they are playing shows together.
Yeah, big shows usually.
But it's been almost 15 years since the last album. Serge Tankian has gone on and released solo albums.
Are you telling me that Hypnotise was 15 years ago?
Something like that.
And Mesmerise?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yep.
Holy shit!
Maybe not quite that long,
But
getting there. Certainly getting there.
...2005? Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's 14 years old. Sorry to go off rails.
Yeah, no.
Continue.
But that's my point, right? It's been that long since this group has released an album. And they're constantly talking in the press, firing shots at each other, which is usually the actions of a group that hate each other.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't seem to be the case, because like I say, they play gigs together. And if it was about money and shit like that, they'd just put an album out because there's money in that. But that's the point. It does go a little bit deeper than this. There's interesting stories to be told. But point is, Serge Tankian has released solo albums. I don't know if you listened to any of them.
I haven't.
They just sound like kind of watered down, happy System of a Down stuff.
Can't wait to not listen to that.
Yeah. And Darren Malakian has released 2 Scars on Broadway albums.
Can't wait to never listen to them either.
They just sound like all the crazy bits of System.
Yeah, but not good. For the tracks I've heard, it's not for me.
Serge has actually been very prolific. He has a jazz album.
Really? I know he did a project with Devin Townsend, and I think not a San, but someone. It might have been Nergal from Behemoth,
right?
Or he'd summoned like inclusion on their albums, or he was in theirs or something. But yeah, you can tell he's still an active artist,
extremely active,
which is cool.
It seems that from looking into him, he's very interested in the art side of things, art, politics, and stuff like that. Jazz is Christ. Jazz is Christ. He's got 4 solo albums, a bunch of System stuff, and he's done a lot of soundtracks. He's been doing a lot of soundtracks just recently. Yeah, cool. It's the interesting thing to me is basically what's happened is Shavo was in the press recently, their bass player, and said that new System music is coming. I've written stuff, and Serge has written stuff, and Darren's written stuff. We just need to iron out the finer details. But Darren said, no, I don't think it's going to happen. And a few months ago, I came out with, Serge didn't even want to do Hypnotise and Mesmerise. Like, he's just not into heavy music anymore. Which Serge has confirmed. We're going to read that status. He didn't want to do Hypnotise and Mesmerise. So the reason this is interesting to me is just the idea of, speculating as to why stuff like this happens. And other bands that are in that System of a Down or Tool-like status where will another album ever come? Will it ever happen? Who knows? And
you still get people who are like, it doesn't matter, I still enjoy what's there. And if they do release an album, great. If they don't, I'll wait.
Yeah.
Weird kind of cult following.
To me, System of a Down are my Chinese Democracy. I didn't wait for Chinese Democracy from Use Your Illusion 2. I wasn't waiting since that album came out. But this, a System of a Down album, is an album I think I've been waiting for since those last albums came out.
I really hope it's not disappointing if and when it does land.
Here's the thing, I don't think it's going to happen.
Because?
So have you seen what Serge has said about this over the years?
No, nothing.
Okay, so 6 months ago, Serge Tankian, Confessions About System of a Down by Serge Tankian. We're extremely lucky for our fans to want a record out of our raging misfit of a crew after all of these years, at times demanding it. This, of course, has led to numerous rumours about the band and our inability to make a record together. Just zooming in, that's much better. I need to get my eyes checked. Record together. Coupled with the he said and she said, he said excerpts from each other's interviews in the past and present at times by sensationalism-seeking media who are in no way, let's say, changing the world for the better themselves. Winky face. Oh, it's not a winky face, just smiley face. Anyway, I'm going to attempt to clarify things for all of our sake once and for all, hopefully without vilifying anyone in the process, because every System of a Down member that has talked about this has always pointed the finger at Serge and said it's his fault, it's his fault, it's his fault. So it's interesting to get a different perspective. It is true that I, and only I, was responsible for the hiatus System took back in 2006. Everyone else wanted to continue at the same pace, to tour and make records. I didn't. Why? For numerous reasons. One, artistic. I've always felt continuing to do the same thing with the same people over time is artistically redundant, even for a dynamic outfit like ours. By that time, I felt that I needed a little time to do my own work. I wasn't discounting restarting the process with the band later. Well, that's not true, is it? Because you played with the same solo band for longer than you played with System for. But cool. Yeah. Egalitarianism. When we first started our creative input, financial revenue splits were close to equal within the band. This is the interesting stuff, right? By the time Mesmerise and Hypnotise came around, we were at diametrically opposite ends on both, with Darren controlling both the creative process and making the lion's share of the publishing, not to mention wanting to be the only one to do press. Weird. That's crazy.
Weird.
I wanted to leave the band before Mesmerise and Hypnotise for these developing reasons. This is why I personally didn't feel as close to the music on those records, which is crazy to me because I think it's their best material.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that.
There were songs that I wanted to bring in, but was hampered by unkept promises, coupled by my own passivity at the time. Time went by, we all did our own thing. My solo career gave me the confidence as a songwriter and later as a composer to revisit System from a position of strength. At first, just to tour and enjoy each other's company, which we did and we still do. I knew they wanted to make a new record, but given the past, I was hesitant. At times there would be emotionally tinged outbursts by one band member or another, mostly blaming me for the band's inactivity. After a long time thinking and processing, about 2 years ago, I went to the guys with a proposition for a way to move forward as a band. I wanted to rectify the wrongs of the past and establish a way that we can all be happy moving forward, so I recommended the following. Equal creative input. By this time, I had released 5 of my own records and was a better songwriter musically, and Darren was getting better as a lyricist. So I said, let's bring in 6 songs each. All band members approved fully and work on them along with songs or riffs from Chavo. Equal publishing split. I personally feel that a band is an equal partnership and finances should reflect that. That's a very short point, isn't it? He doesn't elaborate on that because that's all you need to say.
That's exactly how it should be. If you are a band, then it should be equal. If you are not, then it's a solo project or a project with touring musicians, and that should be specified in contracts and dealt with in that respect.
Really, to me, this entire status could just be that point.
Yeah.
That seems to be the sticking point.
Yeah.
Point 3, director's cut. Whomever wrote the song makes the final decision after exhausting all types of ideas from anybody within the group. I did this because in the past I'd bring in a song that would be morphed into an undesirable version that I myself would withdraw from consideration. I feel that, like writing with people in groups in the past, like bringing material in that everyone changes and updates and, adds tweaks to. I've been in that position where we've ended up with a song that I've hated.
Yeah, that is a hard thing about being in a band, because you need to compromise on what your vision for the song was versus what other people have heard from it and developed it to be. That's hard. I don't disagree.
And then develop a new concept or theme so that it's not just a record but a full experience. Oh, I don't really care about all of this. Really, what this says to me is that, and this hurts me to say, Darren Malakian is a greedy motherfucker that wants to earn more than he I don't want to say deserves,
but that is the gist of it.
It's not those that, like, he's getting the lion's share of the publishing on Hypnotised and Mesmerised because he wrote the lion's share of the music.
But by the sounds of that happened because when other people had been writing songs or putting stuff forward, they'd either been changed to the point where they would be removed from consideration, instead of just saying, no, I don't know. It's a hard one to argue, isn't it, really?
The reason to me that they can go out and gig is because when you go out and gig, publishing doesn't come into it. There's an agreed upon fee that the band is going to be paid to do the gig. We're all performing, therefore we all get paid. It's going to be an equal split. Publishing is the dirty thing in music, where the money is. It really is. That's where the money is. I'm sure we talked about Sting and Andy Summers. Sting owns the publishing to Every Breath You Take. It's his song, even though bum 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 bum, that guitar part, Andy Summers wrote that, but Sting secured the publishing for the song. It's his. So when other people have sampled that song,
Sting like someone in his pocket.
Yeah, Sting makes all of the money. People that sample that guitar riff, Sting makes the millions and millions from that. Andy Summers never saw a penny. So that's shitty. And I think that when you become successful in a band, that's going to destroy people.
Totally.
In Andy Summers' case with the Police, I look at that and say there's an unjust example. This isn't fair on Andy.
It's not. In
System, without knowing the ins and outs of things, I absolutely believe that the reason the publisher went the way it did was because it was Darren's band.
Is that a good thing?
Not necessarily. Well, I can't say yes or no. Was it a good thing? Yes, because they released 5 albums that I love. So it worked.
But they're not going to release any more.
Who knows what those albums would have been like, though, if he wasn't driving the hammer the way he was. You know what I mean?
Schrodinger's album.
Yeah, exactly. I could make the argument, of course, that the Scars on Broadway album, the first one, I didn't actually even realise that the second one had come out until today. So I went and listened to some
you were
of
blessed
that.
in that respect.
Just generic. Don't really care for this. The first Scars on Broadway album, there's one or two songs on there that I think are quite cool. The song Chemicals is quite good. Could have been a System song. I think that's the point. I think you listen to it and everything sounds like a System B-side.
Yeah, bad derivative of a good band.
Yeah. So,
but that's like System don't fall under that kind of Queen bracket. They were greater than some of their parts.
Yes. So yeah, why am I talking about this? Well, that's really it. It's an opportunity to mention that the first System album turned 20. It's a great album. People should go and listen to it. They're a band that only ever seemed to get better with every album.
Yeah, they definitely developed as themselves.
And a tragedy of our generation, I think.
That there won't be any more, and that's
I don't think it'll ever happen. I don't think it'll
happen either.
Because based on what I've read, it seems Darren's a bit too greedy to give up his fair share, and that is the very definition of cutting your nose off to spite your face. The very definition of it. Because if you just agree to have an equal share of the publishing on a System of a Down record, instead of having all of the publishing on a Scars on Broadway record, you are going to make a lot more money. If money's what's important to you, Darren, that's the smart thing to do there. You'd be giving your fans what they want.
Mm-hmm. Do you think he's doing that to spite the rest of the band? Or do you think he's just sticking to his guns and being really hard-headed? You know a few hard-headed people, Levi.
Yeah. When I look in the mirror. I've never met the guy. I'd love to have a conversation with him. I think he's fascinating. I can totally see it. I really can. Like their drummer, John Domian. I've probably butchered his surname there, but how much is he contributing to System? Probably not a huge amount. Probably not. Maybe a huge amount, but probably not a huge amount, right?
I remember the drumming in System always being pretty fantastic, so there'll be some contribution.
Yes. Darren plays drums as well, though. So
does he?
Yeah. Not in the band, but yeah.
No, I didn't think he was in the band.
But I can get that, like that bending and saying, cool, we'll do an equal publishing split, means that he is someone else, he feels other people are going to be making money that is rightfully his. And for some people that is a difficult thing to let go of. I'd be alright with it. I say that. I like to think I'd be, because again, you're going to make millions off another System album. Millions.
Oh, without trying.
So maybe,
and even if
maybe make 10 million instead of making 60 million, right, or whatever, and just be happy in the fact that you've helped some of your friends also make 10 million.
And then whatever else you make from the big shows that would come from the end of it, and whatever else happens.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, it just strikes me as a greed thing. So the question was really, are there any other bands out there that you are desperately waiting on another album from?
Strap Young Lad.
Okay.
And that'll never happen.
Yeah.
It'll never happen. Devin said it. Outright.
He also got rid of his Devon Townsend Project band just recently. Is that?
I believe he's brought another studio musicians. That's right. Because he felt like for all the stuff they'd done, it was fantastic and he loved them and obviously everything was really good, but he wanted to try something a bit different.
Yeah.
I think that's basically what happened to be the death of Stratham Young Lad, was that Devin reinventing himself and trying something new, and that seems to have happened 2 or 3 times since then now.
Yeah. Well, he's an artist, isn't he?
Yeah, he's also insane.
In the truest sense.
Yeah, very much. I would love if Christian would return to Scar Symmetry. Okay. That would kick the dick off me. That would?
Yep.
What about you?
It's hard to think of anything other than System when the subject has come up.
I get that. I would love to hear another System album.
Yeah. That was it, man. Growing up like that was
what about another Spastic Ink album? Showing all the tech kids how it's actually done.
Yeah, I mean, it would certainly be cool, but it's not something I'm waiting on.
No, okay.
Not something that that I'd give anything particular for. I'd be just as happy for a Blind Science album.
Oh, I mean, that goes without saying, let's be honest.
So,
anything that Ron's going to touch sounds good to me. I would like if Bobby would be there, but I mean, that's...
I tell you what, we made reference to them. A Guns N' Roses album, but a follow-up to Chinese Democracy.
You'll need to wait about 30 years for that one.
Yeah, that's never, ever going to happen. When I say a follow-up to Chinese Democracy, I mean that lineup.
Having Buckethead on there as well?
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah, those writing influences, because it doesn't matter what or if they do anything moving forward. You know, Slash is involved in the writing and Duff is going to be involved in the writing. So the material is going to sound like classic rock material, whereas Chinese Democracy doesn't sound like a classic rock album.
It doesn't really sound like an album of things that should fit together, but it works.
Yeah.
Which is great about it.
I absolutely love that record.
It's surprisingly good.
Yeah. I might bust out Rock Band later and play it. Because I have it all on Rock Band.
That will get the cold away.
That will, yeah. Busting through Shackler's Revenge on my drums. Yeah, so our system. Yeah, I would be interested to know what our listeners think. If there are any bands out there that have a similar level of mystique and appeal to you. Yeah.
You said Tool, and Tool's up there obviously, but at the same time,
their album's done now.
So they keep saying.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sick of hearing about it now. Like the hype wore off quite a while ago, and to keep flogging the dead horse until it happens. Nah.
I could go down the fusion route. Like, it would be really cool to hear the Dixie Dregs back together again. I really like the Dixie Dregs. Just like classic lineups of certain bands like Tribal Tech. I'd like to hear Tribal Tech pre the Big Four group in their first 3 albums, which was Spears, Nomad, and Dr. He. Like, I really like those albums, and that's before they became the band that they would end up as. There's probably tons of bands like that, but
I don't know any of the Tribal.
I don't know. As I get older, like I fall back more on what I was into as a kid, and therefore, yeah, like a classic Slipknot album.
That can't happen
with Joey.
But Paul Gray's dead.
Paul Gray's dead, but he was a big writing factor, I guess. But I think you're going to be okay with a different bass player.
I think I'd be okay with anything that isn't Corey Taylor these days, because not everything has to be a test where the full crowd has to stand up and kneel down every single song.
And they turned into a Catholic metal band.
It may as well be Mass Eye. But it's been like that for a while, to be fair. I saw them at Download maybe 2006 or 7, maybe. I went to see The Prodigy. The Prodigy were fucking ridiculous. Absolutely unbelievable. Wild atmosphere. But Slipknot were playing at the same time, so we left that set just as it was finishing to catch the end of Slipknot. And we got there and everybody was kneeling down, and Corey Taylor's, "This is a test. We want to test all you maggots." No, I was like, this is pish. I'm going back to my tent. Fuck this guy. I never came here to fucking stand up and kneel down and fucking do the birdie.
Yeah, I saw them at Download, and there were too many people there for my liking. That's all I can say.
They're also nowhere near as heavy as they used to be, despite what Corey Taylor says in press outlets. Yeah. It's the heaviest album Slipknot's ever done. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's bad pop music. Go back to Iowa. Mate, if he'd kill repeat. What happened to Heavy?
Could have had the option to go and see them on the Iowa tour, and I didn't. What an idiot.
Really?
Yeah, what an idiot.
I wasn't really into that kind of music back then. Yeah. That was before my real mosher days, and now I'm an extreme death metaler.
There's the DVD that they put out, Disaster Pieces.
Yep. That's the one with the crazy drum kit solo that really pushed them over the envelope.
But so on the bonus features for that, on the second disc, there were like 3 songs that you could watch on multicam, and you could pick what camera angle you wanted to watch. That's cool. And one of the angles was a headstock cam on mixed guitar. And just watching...
The footage for that was on the My Plague video, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah. Just watching him play just fascinated me, because he assumed the power stance and he headbanged like a motherfucker. He didn't look left, he didn't look right, he just headbanged, and his hands just went exactly where they needed. He was just a rhythm machine on
mechanical.
That. Yeah.
And you can see how forcefully he picks as well when you look at his hands, man.
Yeah.
Like motherfucker.
People equal shit. Like that, the chorus riff on that. Bubble, 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 bubble. It covers 13 frets, and just watching him bang his head, and he's just like,
even the Left Behind fucking riff, to play that right, there's quite a bit of sliding about.
Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, Mick Thompson, absolutely love him. But we'll be talking more about him as we go through these Total Guitar magazines in future.
No doubt.
So yeah, System of a Down. What do you guys think? Are there any bands that you would kill for another album from? I want it to be a possibility. I don't want you to give us a list of, oh, it'd be great if we could get another. Someone's going to say Led Zeppelin. To be fair, you could have another Led Zeppelin album, I guess.
No.
No. Yes.
No.
I mean, you wouldn't want it, but you could.
You could, but no. That's enough of that, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like a terrible or a great example. A band where everyone is dead. Can we think of a band where everyone is dead?
Leonard Skinner.
Most of the members of Leonard Skinner are indeed dead. Yes, I will give you that. But they are still making a
Pantera.
Album, so, yeah. That is a perfect example. No matter what happens, you could never have another Pantera album.
That's it.
You could never have another Nirvana album. So I don't want people saying Pantera. I don't want people saying Nirvana.
Bands who have split up, all members are still alive and accounted for, and could potentially reform, but very unlikely they will. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah,
that's the unicorn scenario, isn't it?
Yeah, and I guess that's what makes it worst about System. Because not only it's a unicorn scenario, but they're still all pals and they still all gig, and like the only thing that's standing in the way of music is business. Ugh, music business, eh? I always say that only half of the term music business is music. Business is important.
Yeah, but not that important.
It makes the world go round, but it's also breaking my heart right now.
That's it. Art and capitalism fused. What a great concept.
Yeah.
Not.
Anyway, cool. So thank you very much for listening, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, check out the Guitar Souls t-shirts. Please do check out Rev Amplification because we love those guys.
Absolutely.
And tell your friends about us.
Really looking forward to making some content with the G3.
Yeah.
Getting some videos up, actually.
I've got a video going up soon, so
we
tell lies. You tell lies.
Levi tells lies.
Yeah. I'm telling the truth here, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Preaching it.
Yeah. So, cool. I think your brother's going to appear in it with some dead eyes, seeing no future.
Ah, that's true. Aye. Yeah. Quite a rebellious anthem, that one.
Yeah.
You not got any more now?
I was doing a silent war.
Oh, that's cheeky. I like it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's good. Yeah, that's
I'm just looking around if I can see a crucifix so I can carry the cross. But if I keep going, we're going to end up Nemesis.
Yeah, let's just end this. I need to take back my soul because this is terrible.
Yeah, cool. So thank you very much, guys. Until next time.
Bye, fuckers.